I nuggle. Oh God, like just let them have their own space of Star Wars.
All right.
Let them have it.
Well done.
Like it's gonna be something that you don't like.
Let's
like,
roll
what if you're like
the
a Sith
panel.
fan, right? And you just like hate all the Jedi movies, basically. Some fans like fuck the Jedi.
I've taken shrooms to give myself the courage needed to beat this dead horse one more time. So here we go.
From the beginning, everyone who saw Star Wars Celebration when the cast was interviewed for the Acolyte, everyone viewing this broadcast knew that it was dead on arrival. I remember how much smug energy Leslie Headland had as she walked down the runway.
Just try to treat everything as if we're on RuPaul's Drag Race. That's kind of like my...
Gotta let them have their
work
bullshit.
Work the runway.
Woman-centered world, which I was very excited.
Like I didn't see that solo movie.
I feel like Star Wars is very like patriarchal. So.
But if you can't look and see that Anakin blowing up the Death Star possibly killed millions and millions of people, I'm gonna get in trouble.
Ain't no millions of people on that shit, cuz.
This is a goddamn nightmare.
After the subsequent release and failure
Did
of
like
Star
blow
Wars,
up a whole fucking
Leslie
planet
Headland
though.
started making outlandish claims
Where he
that she'd
killed
invented
billions,
the
bro.
code, and that her show had surpassed all other iterations of Star Wars.
The Acolyte showrunner, Leslie Headland, believes Star Wars series' final fight scene tops The Phantom Menace and The Matrix.
Whoa.
However, according to Headland, Soul Showdown is not just one of the best fights of the series, but of
Hollywood overall.
Speaking to her creative process in bringing this scene to life, Headland told Collider's Maggie, who gives a shit, Chris Qua and I, we were shooting for immortality. We were like, we're effing going for it. We want to top the Duel of Fates from The Phantom Menace. We want to top the train station in The Matrix. We will settle for nothing less. I will leave it up to the viewer as to whether or not we achieve that.
Okay, like look, you're in it for gay Star Wars. Maybe for you.
Survey says no. She also made another ridiculous claim.
Leslie Headland says that Disney's Star Wars series was tonally inspired by Cowboy Bebop.
Best Star Wars movie?
Compare it to
Rise
the
of Skywalker,
not the
probably.
cult classic anime.
The Last Jedi, my bad. Where they like do the light speed ship crash shit, where it's just like fucking stupid as fuck. Like I love their shit.
Simpsons, Homer's brother gives him millions of dollars to create a car that no one wanted, and it bankrupted.
That was too advanced.
Disney gave
because nobody could afford the shit.
$200 million to create a fan fiction that copied ideas from so many other successful shows and movies that she ended up creating a mess, just like the Homer.
Fine mess.
At this point, Leslie was going for broke.
Yeah, Homer
was
made like the
blowing Hulk
Pope
Hogan kisses at the RNC, and it clearly warped her mind. And she figured now was as good as time as any to go off the deep end. For all extensive purposes to Star Wars fans, Leslie Headland is a domestic terrorist. Kathleen Kennedy is the CIA agent supplying her with a weapons cache. Star Wars Acolyte can be described as a slow-speed car.
I know, I'm sure.
Kill the careers of everyone involved. It features characters whose motivations
do something about it. I got
no
it.
sense. In fact, it made less sense than King Cobra after a case
You
of
know,
Guinness.
it's the point of these movies. I mean, these movie spin-offs where like you're not supposed to like it. It's not for you.
The costume
You
design
like
was
the stuff
inspired
where
by
it's
the spirit
after,
of
because it's like, you know, the
Hollywood
Jedi were
the
fucking
witty
up.
acting of Amanda Steinberg.
That's why you
whose
like,
resting bitch
you
face
know, like the
covers a
Empire
myriad
Strikes
of
Back and shit,
emotions.
because of stuff like
Headland
this.
was in front
That's
of
the
me right
point.
now, I'd say.
They're actors, cuz they play the character.
But let's fast forward.
You can't like all the shit, cuz.
It doesn't
It's
matter.
about ideology.
A
You
gay
just can't.
journalist
That's
from
the point.
claimed
There's got to be something for everybody.
This is, I would say, arguably the gayest Star Wars. I think by a considerable margin.
Like, probably not.
Are you excited?
Could have
about
been
that?
way
Are you
gayer.
excited?
Alright, like there could have been just only men, cuz. Would have been gay as fuck.
in that moment, you could see
If the movie was just all men.
She knew it was over. She later
nigga,
tried
this
to
shit
push
kinda
back
gay.
on that remark when the ratings started to tank, unfortunately to no avail.
The Acolyte creator doesn't believe her new Star Wars show is queer with a capital Q. Leslie Headland, showrunner of the Jedi drama starring Angela Steinberg, is proud to inspire LGBTQ fans, but
All
says
gay
the
and
story
shit.
is being read
like, you
in
know,
unintentional ways.
Gay. It's gay when it's, you know, like only men.
The long and the short of it is, because I've done this article before months ago, she was saying that the lesbian witch moms
Get the
weren't
Ginyu Force
exactly
cut.
lesbians. They were really close friends that happened to have kids together. You do the math. Then to
Yeah,
own
with
the
witchcraft
trolls,
and shit.
Amandla Steinberg put out her hit piece,
Do
Discourse,
it in
a song and
look,
dance
they
number.
do it in the animated Star Wars Clone Wars where they bring back Darth Maul. And it's like a bunch of witches and shit, and they like bring him the fuck back.
That only highlighted her hubris
Where they
and
established
her
their-
lackluster singing.
It's like,
that
yeah,
was
we know what's going on
overshadowed
here.
by her bad dancing.
Oh, that's your
That's
child right there,
The
huh?
Nepo baby living in a mansion with $1 billion corporation behind her
Or
was
they
the
like make him a
revolutionary.
brother or something, because they make all the Darth Mauls. Now the sisters, the witch sisters
I got nothing
make
for you, man. I
the
just
male
don't like
versions
it.
of them.
If there was a hell,
Or it
Star
takes
Wars
like
fans
3 of
were
them
surely in it.
to make
How
one
did we
male.
get here, I ask myself. Star Wars, like chivalry, is dead, and women killed it. Change my
And like
mind.
with Darth Maul, it's
With so
more
much focus
just like
on
how he
diversity
looks.
and representation, someone should have remembered to come up with a
That's why he
coherent
is a
story.
Sith.
And that's coming from the man who
Apprentice.
wrote this. It was the Bud Light situation all over again, but in
He's
a
the
galaxy
apprentice.
far, far away. The only thing
Not
the
the
Acolyte was
Lord of-
missing was a
When you get
walk-on
struck
role
down as
for
the
Dylan
apprentice, you don't
Mulvaney.
become the Sith
Needless
Lord.
to say, before I knew it, I was making fun of Star Wars again, hoping
So
to
the
make a
point of
little
being a
money
Sith
to make
is
up
to
for
have,
all
like,
my
this
bad
apprentice.
spending choices.
Everybody
On August 19th,
on the other
the
side.
Acolyte was canceled. And in an age of never-ending
Because
crushing
like if
defeats,
you're part of the
this felt
Force, you
like
just
a
become
victory.
part of the Force.
To
But
everyone
you don't
except
become the
Kathleen
Sith
Kennedy and the
Lord.
Disney adults crying on
Alright,
Twitter.
so the way that, because I know you've seen Star Wars. Yeah, nigga, I know you've seen the shit. The way that the bullshit works is that they believe in the Force. And everybody becomes part of the Force if you believe in that bullshit. So the point of being a Jedi or a Sith is to be on, like, you know, one side,
Being
on
canceled
the
is
gang
just another
side.
example of toxic internet hate. The show never got a chance to breathe, and half the people hating on it never even watched an episode. It's not my favorite Star Wars piece of content, but it certainly didn't deserve to be axed.
Disney cares about profit, little dude, which the show didn't turn. It's not bigoted, it's just business.
But they didn't sell
Grow
like
up.
toys and
I'm
stuff
really tired
yet,
of sharing
right?
the franchise I love with toxic, misogynistic,
It's like, hey, it looks
immature
like you,
racists,
huh?
and
If you got your hair
constantly
like that.
seeing them be catered to, even though the rest of us have been here all along, wanting new and fresh stories that connect deeply with us.
Everyone who didn't like the Acolyte was a misogynist and a racist and a homophobe. These are the talking points of a distressed Twitter user having a tantrum. Star Wars hasn't catered to legacy fans since Disney took over. The
Yeah,
last
he's
10
afraid
years,
of men,
Disney has
right?
tried and failed to turn Star Wars into a lifestyle brand, with heavy focus on trying to build a female fan base. If they were catering to the
Doesn't- you're
so-called
afraid of men.
toxic fans, we would have Luke Skywalker fighting Thrawn and not a
Well, the green one, whatever color they are.
heavy focus on trying to
They're a
build
goddamn
a female
vampire.
fan base. If they were catering to the so-called toxic fans,
They're just a fucking vampire.
we would have Luke
guy.
Skywalker fighting Thrawn and not Ahsoka.
The worst
that
part about the
Egyptian
Acolyte being
bullshit.
canceled isn't the cancellation itself, but knowing exactly which part of the Star Wars fanbase Disney listened to in order to go ahead with this decision.
Why does everybody treat Disney like it's a person and not some sort of entity that's trying to make money? All of
'Cause
this
I own
screeching
that shit,
really proves
nigga.
how completely out of touch these people are. That
Own
support
the past
shit,
tense.
that
I had to
genuinely
share
believe that Disney is listening to some asshole
other company.
saying the show sucks.
Just one.
I assure
That was
you,
enough.
they aren't. They're listening to shareholders and investors.
Yo, as a
You
shareholder, nigga, because I
Jesus
owned
Christ.
Disney,
know that if
have
you
my
invest
own
some
functioning
money, cut down
government.
to.
Disney really just said, with so many queer POCs and non-traditional Star Wars fan, all because the show got review bombed to hell and back before it even came out. Ugh.
These people blaming the show's failure on review bombing are ignorant of the fact that the show lost ratings over time. The numbers don't lie, but then again, math is racist.
Canceling the Acolyte is one of the worst decisions ever. It was a series that was finally
Once
pushing
owned
Star
that
Wars into new,
bullshit.
fresh direction, and it was set up for an even better second season.
Sure, if you grew up eating paint chips,
But a bunch of babies couldn't handle that.
Yes, sir,
And now
just
we'll be
owned
stuck
it.
with more of the same forever.
The
Somewhere
sheer
in time,
delusion was on full
I
display.
just
The
own
most
it.
fragile people on Twitter were shrieking into the void, blaming the general public for not supporting a diverse cast on an objectively bad show. If there was ever a more entitled American reaction, I hope to God I never lived to see it.
Is he even a
They think
shareholder?
now they're going to make Star Wars shows for real fans. Men. But the reality is that they'll simply make fewer Star Wars shows.
Y'all live near the moon.
That's hot.
Maybe it's time for fewer Star Wars shows.
Yeah,
Call me
make more
crazy,
games,
because the market has been oversaturated with lackluster offerings to the point of where the average
Most of y'all,
person is
like, you don't even
apathetic.
want
Star
to,
Wars
like,
went from being a
play as a
cultural
male character.
reference
You
of
want to,
our
like, run
entire
around.
nation to being something
That's when they make the game, you
outwardly
know.
go,
I know
yeah,
you. I know
used
who's
to be
gonna
cool,
buy
now
this
it's
shit.
kinda gay.
Nah, we know who
And
would be
when someone
buying,
like
you know,
Hedlund is
like the
given a show
Horizon,
because
whatever
you
the fucking
requested one
Bayonetta.
on the red carpet, that's a clear sign that there's little to no quality control. We are watching Kathleen Kennedy just basically hook up her
niggas,
friends with a
like,
show or
play
movie
Ivy
like
and
she's
Soul
giving out
Calibur
dime
and shit.
bags to her homies. TikTok was no different. The app used mostly by women to victimize themselves
I think
or
you're just going
to
cartwheel
promote
away forever.
content was in full swing.
So the Acolyte was canceled.
It was definitely because incels didn't like two people of color holding hands. We're not gonna forget that.
They've hit the second tower.
It was set up to fail from the beginning. When the Acolyte was first announced as a female-run show with Leslie Headland at the helm, starring a black femme and a diverse cast of characters unlike we had seen in a Star Wars project before, the review bombers took to the internet before
maybe
the
they
show
just
even had a chance to air.
Didn't
I understand
like,
that it got review bombed
period.
to an insane degree by so many people who were hating on it just because of what seems like internal.
No matter how good
Not
it is,
concentrate
they're
on
never
what this
gonna
old
like.
man was saying.
TikTok is the perfect
Ever.
echo chamber of the
They'll
mentally and
never-
emotional stunted, where cognitive dissonance
that's
has become
fine.
the default. Not to mention
Still like, hey,
free-range
you know,
man-hate. Fourth-wave feminism
not
on
all
this
change.
app has deteriorated into calling the average man an incel
Nah, the
whenever
lore is all
and
about
wherever
this shit,
possible,
cuz.
while claiming that any
They're, like,
criticism
trying to
or
make stuff
lack
from
of
the lore
support
happen.
is based on racism or
Anything
sexism.
before, like,
Go
the first
figure. Of course, opinion pieces were being posted at a
3
rapid pace,
movies they
calling the
made
fan base racist
in a
bigots
timeline.
with no proof
It's
other
part
than
of the
take my
lore.
word for it, I'm gay.
Like,
Just another example of toxic
the Phantom
internet hate.
Menace,
Star
just
Wars
the
fans
lore.
lost one of the most badass dark side users as the Acolyte gets canceled after one season.
On what
Star
planet
Wars
was that
started.
badass? Oh my
It's
god.
like if you grew up with Naruto,
Vanderwire,
if you grew up
my
with Star
favorite
Wars
show
while they were like
publication.
making the
They
shit.
are essentially the
Yeah,
Gestapo
One
of
Piece,
Disney
and
Star Wars.
Dragon Ball Z.
Throughout its run, the Acolyte suffered a most
Beyblade.
insufferable fan hate across social media.
Whenever they
The
go
reason was
back-
not only because it lacked coherent storytelling,
That's
but
the
more
lore.
because
like
of
Dragon
its
Ball Super, right
dabbling
after
with
they do
woke
GT,
nature
where they go back.
and challenging the established norms of
Z,
good beliefs.
even Dragon Ball Z is like after
They admit the show made no damn sense, but that wasn't why
Dragon
people
Ball
didn't like
Super
it.
Cut,
It was
period.
the anti-woke mob.
The
to
last
blame.
episode
Oh,
of Z.
Exactly, that makes sense. This article also praised Steinberg's
There you
rangeless
go,
acting and the
and, like,
sex appeal of
anything
Manny
where they're,
for
like,
thirsty,
you know, after
eternally
Luke
online
and
women that
Goku
live on
start
TikTok
training,
pining
whatever.
for male celebrities while also hating men at the same time. Make it make
Who the
sense.
fuck knows? What, like 10 years?
Revealing a prominent scar on his well-trained back forward.
After 10 years, they're like, yeah, it's before
Containing the
GT.
stellar cast of Amanda Steinberg in the league. The show had a few well-placed cameos, interesting characters, and several mysteries to
like
solve.
Toriano.
Yeah, the mystery of the missing plot, my dude.
Just do
The
like a
show's
time
terrible
skip.
ratings weren't to
and I'll show
blame.
you that
It
shit.
was the toxic fan base. I knew it. I knew those Asian butt cheeks wouldn't lie. The Mary Sue, the biggest misandrous publication on the internet, never misses a chance to hate men and blame them for all the world's woes.
Disney is happy to let the toxic dude bros win, I guess. But any kind of change brings a rush of the angry dude
Don't
bros.
fuck up.
Their pitchforks. They never gave the series a chance. Through review bombing and hating on social media, these men made it impossible for anyone to talk about the
Gross up
series.
there.
Still, fans of the Acolyte remained positive and fought through the noise. These guys
What
remained.
cut? You
I'm
should.
not going
You
to
should
read this
vote.
article again because it reads
Just
like a
not for them.
manifesto of a femcel blaming the existence of men
So
on
you
her
can
being
go to
40
jury
pounds
duty.
overweight, single,
Or not,
ugly, and
whatever.
mentally unstable.
Stop him!
The long and the short of it is, in this
Well, back
article,
until
the
y'all
bros and
prosecute
YouTube got Acolyte
people
canceled in some
who were, like,
bizarre world where Disney cares what
you know,
shitlords like me
There
think.
for treason to like
This
overthrow
article
our
is more
government.
about the author's anger with popular YouTubers having a huge viewer base that agrees with them than
Those-
anything else. It just read like a slight hit piece, constantly blaming The cultural zeitgeist on YouTube for all the woes of a show that just really wasn't any good, and there is no other way to put it.
The Acolyte getting canceled is another win for toxic fans.
It's funny, my bank account isn't any bigger. Where's my win?
Oh, like
Stop me if you heard this one before. Star Wars delivered a bold new entry that asked tough questions about the franchise, only for toxic fans to freak the hell out, make a lot of noise, and get what they think they want. We watched it happen with The Last Jedi.
Oh my god, that was so bad.
Leading to the milquetoast turd known as the Rise of Skyrock.
Like, you must have a purple lightsaber,
now
cuz.
The Rise of Skywalker is bad. I remember when it came out, everyone who said it was bad was toxic and hated women.
And now, history is repeating itself with
was
The
The
Acolyte.
Last
On
Jedi.
Monday night, Lucasfilms will officially
That was the
confirm
one.
Season 2 is dead in the water, making The Acolyte the first Star Wars / Marvel series to get
What
canned
the-
on Disney Plus
they made The
without
Last
getting too
Jedi.
into the...
Wait, what about Willow? Willow came out, and then it got
I
memory
was like,
hole.
no,
This
just
has
how are
happened
they gonna
before.
pull this
All the
bullshit
difference is Willow
where the
didn't have
actors
a
pass?
Asian and a
Allegedly.
black woman holding hands. That was too
Oh.
far from big.
By this point, my brain started to melt and I could see Mickey Mouse caving in on himself, like a dying star. It was clear the mainstream media had a narrative, and that narrative was toxic fans. I was being gaslit by lizard people and Disney shows into believing The Acolyte was a great show.
Driver owned
This
Disney.
muddled mess of a show that made little to no sense from one episode to the next would have been a train wreck for Season 2, because I'm sure it would have retconned itself within 2 episodes. It's clear the support it had on social media was from progressives who wanted to champion a diverse show for social media points. There was no greater proof of that than the fact that Disney removed all the Acolyte merch from the store as a clear sign that no one was buying it. If people really liked this, they would have bought something. Oh well. I guess we'll just have a few more days of people shrieking online and blaming YouTubers about this, but that's par for the course, just like they did with Batgirl. They all love these shows so much that they forget to watch them. Adios,
Somebody, I actually saw that Last Jedi. Nah, nigga, that shit was turned up. Fuck you talking about, cuz. Where they're doing like the little, the fucking Kamishimi no Yari. I think that's what it's called. Ichigo versus Gin. Ichigo versus Jin. Old Jin over here. No, like the drink. Some of that gin. That dry gin.
You're probably...
Nah, cause I'm not gonna swear, but I know that my foot's broken somehow. Or something ain't working right. Oh. It's more important to you, dealing with death and gods of it, plural. Like there's a lot of them. Yeah, over there with them chocolate sailors, chocolate sailors. Where's that Tina Bell character? The Roncar woman, like the only woman that's in the Espada, so it's not gay, huh? That's what you're saying. Yeah, nigga, you know the deal. Like, stop fucking up.
That I'm making, I am actually.
Stop fucking up. Hey, cuz, you know who's fucking up?
Potential attacks.
Sheesh. You're the problem, G. That top order is pretty clear. You don't do the top order, do you? Huh? No, none of y'all do the top order. Whoever does the top order knows what the fuck's happened.
At an opera house outside of my
Children can afford to. You and bringing your voice.
Can't be a traitor to your country, cuz. You can, like, keep trying. You can keep losing and just, like, keep running in the race as much as you want. But you can only win so many times, only twice. Fuck you mean no term limits? Like, nigga, you lost. There you go. Trying to sell the shit to anybody, huh? Yeah, I did sell my bonds. Mines were sold, but I have a record.
Need an
I
accounting
didn't
degree?
being circulated back into the economy
Is up and running again?
at a certain bank that I own, if I'm not mistaken.
And left tens of
Oh, so, you know, like, on record, my name's on this shit.
on their
In time,
travel.
right.
The TSA says that this will be the busiest.
In time.
Like a Chipotle, the avocado.
The avocado.
Yeah.
Hey, we have a special treat coming up. Molly Fletcher, founder and CEO of the talent development company Game Changer Performance Group. She's played tennis. She's repped talent. Looking forward to that. In the meantime, you hear the closing bell on Wall Street. So let's get a look at those closing numbers. Over to Amy Morris. She's in our DC bureau.
All right, thank you, Carol. Index is definitely off their highs for the day. What looked like a rally lost its steam as NVIDIA shares continued to slide, and as we wait for these numbers to settle down. The big movers today were NVIDIA. Earnings yesterday failed to live up to investors' hopes. Shares of NVIDIA down now more than 6%. Dollar General, also a big mover. Shares plummeted the most on record after the discount retailer reduced its full-year sales forecast. Dollar General shares down now 31%. And Best Buy reported better than expected second quarter comparable sales and adjusted EPS, boosting its EPS guidance for the year. Shares of Best Buy 14% higher.
Perform
We're looking
quite
at these
well.
closing numbers now.
I'm gonna make
flat, and the Nasdaq
some raps.
down 0.2%. The Dow gained 0.6%. So the S&P landing at 5591.98, Nasdaq at 17,516, and the Dow at 41,335. That is your Bloomberg Business Flash.
Wait, you are working
Look,
so
to be
hard?
fair, I think they do this on purpose. They put us somewhere where we can't actually watch any tennis from here.
Yeah.
So we don't get
'Cause of
distracted.
resources,
What I can
'cause
see is there are probably some really good matches going on because there are a lot of people courtside
That's
right
one of the
now.
stadium courts, right?
No,
No?
that is.
Oh, no, that's a field court?
That is just a.
It's a
grounds
practice court.
No, it's not a practice court.
Grounds
Practice courts
court?
are right there.
Okay.
There's a match going on right there. But you bring up a really good point about what's unique about the U.S. Open.
Because you can
You
go.
can go watch. I mean, 2 years ago when we were sitting here, I left because you stayed the first night
Yeah.
to watch Serena.
Yeah.
In her
Her
people
fi-
thought could have been her final match.
Right, exactly.
I went over there and watched her practice.
Which is really cool.
Before she played.
I did the same thing.
Yeah.
Or
very
maybe it
cool.
was-
Or maybe it was the night before.
I can't remember. Yeah.
It was. It's pretty amazing.
But it's cool. Like the boards are over there, and you get an idea of who's on some of these side courts, and you can just go and watch, and it's just
Yeah.
fascinating to see.
The other part of this is the athletes just walking by you.
Yeah.
So, pro tennis players,
Yeah.
typically they're above average in height.
Yeah, they're pretty tall dudes.
They're carrying around
Or women.
carrying around bags of like a dozen tennis rackets. You can kind of tell.
They
But
carry their. That's
but-
what they do. They carry their own
Oh
equipment.
yeah, they
I
walk.
love that.
They walk amongst us.
They do. And someone who really knows about this world. She's an athlete. She's represented athletes in negotiating deals. You'll know some of the names she has represented. She's now helping others, including non-athletes, really perform, Tim, at their best.
Let's get to our guest, Molly Fletcher. She's the founder and CEO of the talent development company Game Changer Performance Group. She's got a new book out. It's called Dynamic Drive: The Purpose-Fueled Formula for Sustainable Success. It's coming out this week.
It is coming out this week, and she joins us from Atlanta. And her notes remind us she was a walk-on tennis star at Michigan State. She and her mom actually won enough U.S. qualifying matches to play doubles at the U.S.
That
Open
is
in
cool.
1991. I can imagine what a great memory that is. Molly, welcome to Bloomberg Business Week. Great to have you. How are you?
I'm doing awesome. I'm jealous. You guys have, golly, I want to be where you are. So soak it all in for me.
Listen, we wish you were here. It's really kind of perfect today. The weather has settled down. It's not too hot. There's something about top-notch athletes that can teach us so much about yourself, how to do things, how to approach things. I feel like we talk to coaches, athletes, we learn so much. What have you learned being an athlete and representing them?
Absolutely. For almost 20 years, I was a sports agent. And so I had an opportunity to see so early in my career. I mean, it was sort of a front row seat to peak performance. And what I saw is that at the end of their careers, the things that gave them the most satisfaction was actually not the trophies, right? It wasn't the rings on their fingers, but it was at some level the knowledge that they left it all out there for where you are. They left it all out on the court. They gave it everything they had. And so, yeah, the book that I have coming out next week, Dynamic Drive, it is all about how do we align our pursuits and our outcomes at some level in service of who are we becoming in the pursuit? Who are we becoming in the journey? As much as the achievements, the trophies, the outcomes, right? When we think about the guy or the gal that's about to hoist a trophy over their head after winning the Open, I think when you see those tears of joy, it's anchored more in the pursuit than in fact the achievement itself.
How do you then? So interesting that you say that. I think about that with amateur athletes too, who, might work a full-time job, but they also have athletic goals, and maybe those athletic goals that they have, they don't achieve. But what they did was they trained for that marathon. They trained for that 100-mile bike race. They might not have finished it in the time that they wanted to, but maybe it was the training leading up to that experience that actually is fulfilling.
100%. I mean, I think sometimes when we think about, drive, is such an amazing thing, right? Like the drive to run a marathon, the drive to achieve something. It's such an awesome thing, and it's amazing. But to me, so much of why I'm so passionate about dynamic drive, as I define it, is because our lives are so transformative. They're so dynamic, right? At some level. In other words, it's not about reaching the summit or finishing or running that marathon per se, to your point.
Mm-hmm.
And because at some level, the interesting thing is, what do you do when you're done, right? Like you guys probably see it and have seen it, and I know I saw it as a sports agent. I mean, when you finish the marathon, when you win the U.S. Open, when you win a world championship, what do you do next? And if you're in the pursuit of better every day, if you're working on your mindset, if you're working inside of discipline and resilience, and you're anchoring all of it in something bigger, right? A bigger why at some level, to me, it makes the journey worth the grind. And it's what I saw with that.
So what do you do, Molly? So what do you do? Like, how do you work with someone, or how do you train someone? I think you and I sometimes will feel like we'll come off of something and it's like so great, and then you got to remember that.
But there's the flip side of that too, where
What?
we come off of something and you're like, you know what, it could have been a lot better, and here's why.
Right. So how do you?
Like, we're pretty harsh critics of ourselves.
Absolutely. So how do you get your mindset to be like, okay, all right, maybe that was a bad one, or so how do we make it better? Or how do we not let that kind of throw us off course?
Well, and you hit on it right there with that word mindset, because it's everything, right? And you guys see it out there on the courts right there. I mean, the difference between the guys and gals that are competing and continuing to make progress is so often, right? It's their mindset. It's not talent. It is at some level it gets them there, but it's the discipline and the resilience and the mindset that keeps them winning. And so to your question, I mean, I think, we have like something like 70,000 thoughts a day, which is kind of insane when you think about it, right? And so if we aren't intentional about reframing our thoughts, right? Like really intentional about saying, am I telling myself something right now that is taking me where I want to go? Or am I telling myself something that isn't, right? And so I teach something in Dynamic Drive called a total mindset reset, which is how do we recognize when we're telling ourselves something that isn't going to take us where we want to go, or give us the outcome, or make us show up as the best version of ourselves. How can I recognize that? How can I then replace it with something different and better that in fact is driving toward the outcome that we want? How do I reinforce it, right? You see athletes, I've certainly got the open eye, right? You see athletes looking at notebooks, right, and cards, and
too much writing shit down.
Right, and reinforcing the kind
arthritis, man. I told you. Nah, I learned the pressure points, so I could like
take what they do on the court,
make my body expand.
To our own lives, when it comes to either professionally or personally.
You didn't do that, y'all. You didn't learn the pressure points of the body. You didn't like a PDF. It's like a comic book.
In purpose, but I would say the first step fundamentally
this one company that does this business in Nerf Worker.
Right, like where am I maybe
since y'all
showing up in a way that aligns with the legacy
since you found the diamond.
That was really what got me to this point right now, which is pulling back and saying, do I have an agent and negotiate 2 billion, 3 billion, 5 billion contracts? What am I
staring at this like reasonable speaking voice?
It's pulling back and saying, where am I playing?
Instead of losing my real voice.
Where could I have an opportunity to go a little bit in service of the legacy I want to leave, in service of what I want on my tombstone, right? In service of me showing up both personally and professionally, and living into my core values. And then I think you have to say, what am I really chasing? Right? I think sometimes in life, whether you're a stay-at-home parent, whether you're a pastor, whether you're a professional tennis player, whether you're a media talent like
super expensive.
It's pulling back and saying, what am I chasing? Right? Like at some level, what
this Africa stuff is unaffordable because can't buy none of these shares from South Africa.
And those kinds of
nothing's like less than $1.
Those are tough.
Them bastards got all that money compared to you.
Not your best you, or maybe I feel like that. I'm not my best me sometimes because it makes you a little crazy. Hey, Molly, one thing we do want to ask you, and love hearing kind of your perspective on how to help people. be their best, if you will. You mentioned 20 years representing 300 plus of the world's top NFL, MLB, NBA, NCAA athletes, coaches. So Drew Brees, Tom Brady, Aaron Andrews.
Except this one that I have. It's the only one.
What was the fun part of that? The good part of that? What was the maybe not so fun part of it? And why did you stop?
Yeah, awesome question. And you know, I mean, the fun part is being around peak performers, right? Being around people who
some traders
into and want to
like
pursue better every day, right? They
shot
have that kind of mindset and resilience and discipline. That was and is so magnetic and so fulfilling and so fun. You know, in service
some
is there anybody in particular? Is there anybody though in particular that stands out that you were just like, oh my god, they're just
like it don't matter what level you want to say they are in society or nothing. The same shit, cuz.
He got it from the perspective that he would step out on the mound
keep
and
borrowing money from somebody.
He wasn't afraid of change. It wasn't really about him. It was about the other guys in the clubhouse.
When you betray the taxpayers,
right? And I think, you know, Ernie Johnson Jr., you guys know EJ's name.
You've gone too far, cuz.
I mean, just, you know, we'd go from the set where he's between Kenny and Barkley, right? And then we'd get in a minivan and drive to go have lunch with his since passed son Michael, who's severely disabled, and have lunch, and Jay would rub it and feed Michael, and you know, so I think it's the people that recognize the opportunity and the uniqueness.
You've seen all these cats over here. You've seen all these damn pussies.
The blessings in it, and at some level, don't get too self-absorbed in their sort of in the seat that they're in, and you guys are there, right? Like, it's easy to do that when everywhere you turn, everybody stands up and moves and follows you, right? So Smoltzy, EJ, Doc Rivers, Tom Izzo, these are people, and the list goes on and on and on, but they're great human beings.
Yeah, the shit you're actually doing with it.
Unbelievable. Had unbelievable.
Oh well, nigga. To Mick Murray. Yeah, cause y'all made retarded
that
robots.
Maybe wasn't so fun being an agent and
yeah. I was hoping you'd forget that part of the question, girl, and you're back with it.
I like to get vaporized.
Wait, I'm like, I want to follow up.
Better like get in shape or something.
So, you know, I would say the not so fun
time's
is
up,
when is when you know the 11 o'clock call when a player gets traded and
you're like you believe in this afterlife.
You
know, like, well, it's just not gonna be around here. You're going to like get the fuck out of here.
The golfer that's right there and they're about to win their first tournament and they sort of don't get it done for whatever reason.
Yeah, I might be there, but like it's not gonna be me doing it.
Because
be doing my own shit.
The love and the connection. I mean, these are people that you're at the weddings, right? You're there when the kids are born, and
like
so
watching.
When they
when
they're
pass me the popcorn.
and their heart breaks.
Pass me that turkey burger over there.
Man, that hurts. You know, that hurts. And so
pass me them tortilla chips, cuz.
Let's see, though, that was the hardest part, truly.
Pass me those tacos over there.
The other component I would actually say is the ones who had just an enormous amount
I'll have the corn
but
sandwich.
Didn't have, candidly, what I break down in Dynamic Drive, the discipline.
Pass me that cornbread.
So they had all the talent.
Yeah, I'll take cornbread at the movie theater.
Enough, right? Like, you need talent plus.
Instead of popcorn.
Discipline.
Where shit don't get stuck in my teeth. Like, I probably will fall asleep.
Knowing the gap that existed, and you know that's hard. That hurts your heart too.
I don't know, like y'all did what y'all did, but like traders, cuz.
Very briefly, because we only have about 30 seconds left with you, Molly.
Oh my God.
What would you say to somebody who's feeling a little?
No, it's compromised, man.
Right now, I'm not talking about a pro athlete, but somebody who's feeling just like really, really tired.
You actually have more time, I think.
Like time's
like 2 minutes.
straight up. It's over. This was overtime already, stupid.
I love it.
All that 2012 shit.
No, here's what I would tell
Tornadoes,
them. Burnout is usually a result of chasing the wrong.
Well, you didn't resolve
that.
that.
Putting your energy toward the things that don't.
You didn't resolve that in a chain. Because, like, the Navajo cold talkers
we
thing.
operate in a dynamic drive the
Where you were like
foundation
never
is
going
that we're
to properly
plugged into
prosecute this
purpose in
motherfucker.
everything that we do. Burnout is actually a day. In other words, for somebody who's feeling burned out, what I would encourage them to do,
That's the point.
is ask themselves some tough questions, right? What am I chasing?
This is the
What
point.
matters most to me? What legacy do I want to leave? What at some level are the things, the people,
Okay, I
the
collected the
relationships,
bounties.
the values, the beliefs
Look at
that are
it.
most important to me?
Yeah,
And
it
how
was
am I
important to
living and
y'all.
pouring my energy into
Because
those
for me, it was like to
in
evolve
service of creating alignment
beyond your bullshit.
and in turn offsetting burnout? Because I think where people find themselves
Seen
burned
that
out is
murder
they're
hornet
misaligned, right?
shit.
They're misaligned. In other words, they're spending their time and
I
energy.
bet you think it's a demon, homie.
Right? Totally.
Duh.
I'm glad it, yeah. I mean,
totally.
it's spending your time and energy doing things that don't ladder up to what in
You
fact
know,
matters
like
most.
ACOS got wings,
And
right?
so
So,
that's why I'm
like, is
so
a roach a
passionate
demon?
about this
Probably.
to drive into life. And
Ain't
some
think of that,
it
did you?
become really an identity in which we approach
Like mosquitoes.
because it keeps burnout at bay.
No.
My thing is the mosquitoes, cuz. Like, for real.
It's an inside-out approach to
Vampires,
living,
like, how dare
living
you
our
with
lives
mosquitoes? Fuck
in
you.
fullness without regret
You're
and leaving the legacy that we really want to leave.
absolutely risked from existing.
No, it's a deeper think and thought.
Because
as you
fucking
said, mindset,
mosquitoes.
Just thinking about, right, when we all ultimately will leave this world, like how you leave it, right? And do you feel
Or you'll get a tick or
good
something.
to be quite
Oh my
honest.
God.
No, I think about
Those
this a lot as I get
relationships.
older. Molly Fletcher, thank you so much for all this time. Founder and Chief Executive Officer at Game Changer Performance Group, and of course her new book is called Dynamic Drive.
Hey, keep an eye on some of the
Just
companies
be
that
made
have
of
reported
darkness.
after hours. We're seeing shares of Ulta Beauty
Yeah.
down 7.6%. This after the company cut its fiscal year net sales forecast. And shares of Lulu were also
Cyber
lower
either.
after it trimmed its outlook amid concerns on demand and competition.
Yep, moving lower in the aftermarket. Well done.
Not cyber, cuz. Cyber dark is so just unnecessary. Stupid. The concept of a cyber dark anything is just retarded. That's what you did. You made some retard shit. You just want to like beat the fuck out of somebody the second they say some bullshit to you. Yeah, diversity hires out there. Privilege, I'm not so sure about that, cuz let's be real. Don't lie to yourself. Invincible, Iron Fortress, I don't know. Invincible. And fucking vulnerable. No. Almighty. No, just call me Kage. Oh. Make some jazz shit. Jazzy. Freeform jazz. Had to catch a freak. Look, you've been possessed by demons. And you know this.
I'm Amy Morris. Dell Technologies reporting Infrastructure Solutions Group net revenue for the second quarter beat the average analyst estimate. CEO Jeff Clark says their AI momentum accelerated in the second quarter. Dell up 7.9% in the post-market. Ulta Beauty cut its net sales guidance for the full year.
Like, you know, I can.
Missed the average analyst estimate. Ulta CEO releasing a statement saying their second quarter missed expectations, mainly because of the decline in comparable store sales. Ulta shares now down 7.6% in the post-market. NVIDIA discussed joining a funding round for OpenAI that would value the artificial intelligence startup at more than $100 billion.
I've been done it already.
Of course, say Apple and Microsoft have also been reportedly in talks about participating in this. The round would be led by Thrive Capital, investing about $1 billion. Now, if these discussions move forward, it would mean the three most valuable tech companies are all backing
try and get you before I do, because it wants to like keep existing.
Chatbot. We're bringing you your closing numbers each day here at Bloomberg. The S&P ended pretty much
like a wasp demon.
NASDAQ ending lower by 40
Hornet
points.
demon.
The Dow hit
Demon hornets.
It gained 244 points. That is a Bloomberg Business Flash. Now back to Bloomberg Business Week at the U.S. Open with Carol Masser and Tim Stenevek.
Fuck no.
All right, Amy, thank you so much. You are listening and watching Bloomberg Business Week. We are live at the U.S. Open in Flushing Meadows, Queen. We often say when broadcasting from the U.S. Open that, yep, no doubt it's about the tennis. It's what you see on the courts, the players, the matches. But to be fair, coming to the U.S. Open is quite an experience.
Yeah, it's the food, the merch, the people watching, the lounges. And yes, Carol, your prized honey deuces.
I still have my cup from last year.
Did you bring it back this year?
I did not.
You're going to get another one.
Maybe.
No, there's still tomorrow. You
We'll
bring
see.
it tomorrow.
We'll see. We'll
yeah.
see. As for the food, this year the team that's behind it all, they recruited more than 20 New York City restaurants to serve their signature food and drink items at various dining venues, and you can see it as you walk around the center, the tennis center, throughout the 2 weeks of the tournament. So to talk about it all is Chris Studley. He's back with us. He's managing director of event services at the USTA.
Whatever you got, the Renegade.
At the U.S. Open. Nice to be back with you. How are you?
Thanks for having me back. I'm great. We've had a great year, of course. It kicked off with Fan Week just a little over a week ago.
Yeah, gotta go, man.
Than ever before to our site during that period. People are finding out about
just
it, right?
The rules, man.
We don't have tickets that week, and people are flooding out here to check out the action.
Over.
The players.
Is all food and beverage
overtime? You gotta go home, nigga.
Available during Fan Week?
It's a great question.
Yeah,
so
get the fuck out of here.
We've kind of opened up slowly, but we knew that we
Past
were promoting
curfew,
this
nigga.
and trying to get more fans interested in it. So we opened the entire food village. We opened a few restaurants as well that wouldn't have been open in the
You know,
past.
it was 2012.
People really responded well. I mean, the fans that came out, over 216,000. So we set all
with
kinds
that
of
COVID
records,
bullshit.
and people
I never
realized
want to stop wearing the mask.
I can come on
Crazy.
site for free. I can get up close with the stars of today. It's incredible.
It is pretty incredible, right? We were talking with Kirsten Corio about it earlier. Having said that, how do you
dropping
think
this shit
about
on
the
your fucking
experience
ass?
that you want in terms of
Like,
hospitality?
I mean, it's gotta happen.
Certain things that come back every year, but then there's some new stuff. So tell us about kind of the menu that you think about.
Absolutely.
You want water and shit, right?
Look at all the data, right? We have
you think that shit comes from,
I don't
man?
want to bore you with those details. It's more fun to talk about the drinks.
Actually,
I think that shit happens.
Sure.
No, that's so cool. What are these
Spreadsheets is our language.
What do you think of
we can
delivery?
look back and look at sales over prior years. I mean, I'm talking dating back to over
You're
10
getting this
years
shit
ago.
for free,
We can see
huh?
the trends and
Asshole.
everything, right? What's the hot item? What needs to stay, if you will? What are we looking at that may not move? What's not moving the needle?
Yeah, like what needs to be here, humans or water?
So we go in every year with a fresh perspective.
That's the
of, hey,
question.
in this stand,
Why
there's
can't you
3 or 4
breathe
items.
underwater?
This one's on the bottom.
I
Let's
don't know.
refresh that. Let's do something new with it and see if it responds. So it gives us that opportunity. And just like that, over the years, when
Go try it and live in the fucking
we've gotten
ocean.
feedback, hey, try this, try that. And it actually shapes the food village a little bit every year. We piloted last year and the year before, we were piloting a mobile ordering system. We realized that our fans weren't really interested in it. What they wanted to do was take that walk down the food village. You mentioned it yourself.
Yeah, y'all didn't want ice caps.
But there are sometimes lines, and I'm like,
You didn't want ice at all. You wanted it to be all hot and shit.
how do you do that?
Well, you know, we look at everything from the technology that we use to process the transactions down to how the honeydews is made in a tap system now. So, by the way, you get the perfect ratio of vodka lemonade to raspberry liqueur.
What's the guac?
The avocado.
Like avocado.
Yeah, we got the melon.
Yeah.
That's the chipotle to make the guacamole.
No, they have bigger ones, don't they?
There's a tap system. Yeah. Well, the melon balls, so interesting story about those. You know, we're projected
coconut
to
fruit.
500,000 honeydews this year. I think 50 melon balls per honeydews. We're talking 1.5 million melon balls. And we have a team that puts them on skewers.
Yeah,
so
the mosquitoes.
They come in bald already, but there is a team behind
They do
the
come
scenes.
bald.
They come bald.
Okay.
Oh.
They come bald. We have, yes.
I was just going to say, you're going to be like, Chris is
you're
handing
like
out
the
assignments.
mosquitoes are talking.
You're handing out the assignments. You're on the melon ball team. I'm really sorry, but you're going to be like making
Yeah, that tap water that you need
We're the
to.
unsung heroes. Unsung heroes.
Of course, mosquitoes can control people, cuz.
How much revenue does the honeydews bring in?
You know, before the vampires, right?
Numbers, so I'm curious.
What did you guys see?
Yeah, how many trillions did you do a day?
$9 million in sales?
That's probably fair.
Trillions.
Last year we
Even
sold
you, so like, what's the deal? I get y'all too.
22 last year, 23 this year.
Like nobody else takes the mosquito serious.
About 462,000.
Okay.
Oh.
So yeah, so that's about 10.6 million in revenue.
Okay, so
Get it, I'm not making.
Cedron, who's very into tennis and is going to be here tomorrow. Combine the men's women's tournament winners get 7.2 million.
Some like
so you're making more.
some midget.
Well, we have to pay the whole pool of prize money.
I'm
The whole
just
pool of prize money is much more.
I'm just saying.
There's a lot of other players that aren't the winner.
What if the winning
No,
prize
God.
money was based on just honeydews?
The footage says something
revenue?
else.
So
Like, take a percentage.
equal prize
Like a
money.
player says, I'll have a percentage of the honeydews.
Yeah,
I'm
we
like,
keep fucking stealing my blood.
Listen, it all helps the fan experience, right?
It does.
Everybody in our
But
newsroom
like,
is coming
you
up.
know,
don't
I mean, what are you talking about, cuz? Cause like I let you bite me sometimes.
The honeydews.
But like, if I kill one of you, right,
Great question.
or
I've been
eating
asked that a
one
couple
of
times
you,
recently. You know, because we keep
where's
talking
that
about
me? You're not gonna get me.
Well, funny enough, this is the first year we actually did honeydews merchandise. So you can get a honeydews hat or a T-shirt with the recipe on the back, and they sold like wildfire, according to our merchandise folks.
Wow.
Yes, yeah, it was really popular.
So where did it come up from?
It came up from a Grey Goose mixologist and a few USDA folks in a kitchen here on site over 15 years ago. Just before I joined the organization,
Just
so I
one
had
shit.
nothing to do with it. I can't take any credit for it.
But it must have been a fun kitchen.
when I like insert this
They're
shit.
experimenting on
They
that.
sat there and tried
That's
every
why
different
wouldn't you
cocktail and
have
what resonated the most, right? What was the flavor of summer, so
Right.
to speak. So then they even came up with
Or I
the 3
just
melon
play
balls that represent the
pedigree.
tennis balls in a can. So not everybody realized that, but yeah.
Was that
Oh,
lightning in
I
a
have
bottle?
pedigree.
I mean,
You know,
the way that I talk about the U.S. Open to people, they always say, "What is that drink? What is that drink? What is that drink?"
Yeah, everybody.
Yeah, everybody knows about it.
It's grown over time, right? It's just taken on its own persona. Thanks social media for that, right? As that took off, the honeydews takes off. It's cool to come take your picture with the honeydews.
So when are you going to do a mocktail? Again, Elizabeth
Yeah, the
asks
fucking
us.
mosquitoes
He says,
come.
I'm going to come, but I don't know that I want to
They
do
all
it.
have
But I'd love to
straws.
have a honeydews mocktail.
You know, we'd have to talk to our partners.
Like, is it some mosquito that's manipulating me?
We do offer
I guess
some
that would be
mocktails
a
and
Since that's how you want to
Everything
go.
without, minus the vodka, minus the key sponsor.
So like, there's some mosquito. This is more diabolical than all y'all put together.
Lemonade with melon balls.
Because
We
they
do
bite
offer
me. Whatever mosquitoes bite me
It is a category that's
have to be the most powerful ones,
So
huh?
guests come on,
Yeah.
and it's non-alcoholic beers, wines, like
Sure.
you name it.
Well, we do serve the Heineken 0.0, which is quite delicious for
Uh-huh.
non-alcoholic beer. So they are a good partner of ours as well.
On the food side of it, the prep time that goes into
Yeah, it's
actually
not a
making sure
negative,
that
it's
there are
neutral.
minimal lines, even though there are still lines.
It's not an attack,
How do
it's
you
an
have the
order.
balance of making sure that the chefs are prepping ahead of time, but also making stuff to order? You're not going to get something soggy.
Yeah, so their goal is to not make the finished product days in advance for any stretch.
Right.
You know, they're professionals what they do. I mean, even the best restaurants in New York City do a lot of prep, and they know where they can kind of cook the item to until they have to serve, and then obviously finish it. So they're the pros at that. I don't claim to be. I'm not a chef at all, nor do I work in a kitchen. But
You're an operations guy, though.
Operations guy through and through.
It's dark hole, dark
they
hole.
know what's best. I trust them. They know what they're
I
doing.
play
We work
dark
with Levy
hole,
Restaurants, which is
and I
a
play
division of
another
Thomas
dark
Group.
hole.
Yeah.
They're around the world. They know what they're doing. They're pros.
So your kit,
Yeah, go ahead.
Oh,
so your
yeah,
kitchen's
you like-
all set up,
All
like-
over.
Like all over.
Oh, yeah.
And stuff's coming in
For
from
sure.
off-site.
You
We
didn't.
have about 7 commissaries on site, and I'm talking
didn't
massive
do it,
kitchens.
cuz.
We even have one underneath the grandstand. The public would have no idea where it is.
Got some pussies
Kitchens
that
in the
are
back of
afraid
every
of Brazil.
restaurant. So freshest food
We're
possible.
afraid of hell.
It's built to serve the areas
That's
that
why I
you're in.
don't respect you.
Yeah.
From an operations perspective, talk to us about how you're using technology to sort of offset where people
Yeah, that imaginary shit.
maybe add more people where people are going.
See,
add
you
more
can
app
imagine,
stuff,
can't
but
you?
What's the tech side
Or
of this?
no,
So the tech side, not necessarily tied to food and beverage so much.
Yeah.
Talking about
tied to
intelligence.
seating. Our fans, especially
I
the first
bet you
ticket tennis
understand
right now, with
this
so many
one.
rounds, passes, and matches going on everywhere. We actually have cameras aimed at every bleacher, so you can
I
kind of
don't
get
need
an
to
idea of where
respond.
you're going to go. Green,
I'm just
yellow, red
scared,
for what has seating available
Some
to
birds
kind of point
hurt.
people in the right direction to catch some tennis.
Love that.
All right,
Word
what's
hand.
the most exclusive dining experience here?
Exclusive dining
Yeah, the
experiences
cards
and
I put in my
champions are
deck.
two signature restaurants on the club
Instead of
level
like my
Ash, you
rare
either need a courtside ticket or a suite
pot of
ticket to
green,
access
oh,
them.
the spellbinding
Those are
circle.
probably what people just die to get into. The reservation.
They don't let you play anymore.
Charts.
And what's this chicken?
The lowly media
Wait,
pass, Carol,
yeah,
will not
yeah,
get you in.
Yeah.
Taste
Let me
of
know if you guys need anything.
Magic cylinders.
It's okay. I got my French fries before. What's this chicken dish with caviar?
So Coco Doc by restaurateur Simon Kim.
And there's
So if you've
the
heard
cat
of it, popular restaurant in the
motherfuckers.
city right now, one
Chris
of the hottest
Hauser
places.
knows about
I'm
this.
sure he
of our
does.
pursuits.
So we have the stand on the club level of Arthur Ashe Stadium, and it is just unbelievable. I mean, you can get regular chicken nuggets with dipping sauces, all the way up to chicken nuggets or the caviar covered nuggets, and it's selling crazy.
I'm gonna ask you the same question
Yeah,
that
the
I
gummy
asked you in
bears,
the last 20 seconds we
that's
have
my
with you.
favorite.
What's the big difference that you're already planning for next year? What's something new?
There's
that's
nothing
happening
better
like
than
that?
turning
What do you
somebody
think
into a
about
gummy bear.
We're always looking at new chefs,
It's
new
the
restaurants,
greatest.
what people are craving. I'll get back to you after I look at all the data.
No others.
Always working. This guy's always working. Always looking at the data.
That is such cool stuff.
And you're a
Thank you
gummy
so
bear.
much. And Cardi B Deli's back.
They are.
Look here, you gummy bear.
Pastrami sandwich, maybe?
Hey, I already had. What did I have?
I don't know. You had something.
Chicken gyro.
Something.
Yeah.
Delicious.
Yeah.
Nah, it has no nutritional value at all. That's the point,
Chris
cuz.
Dudley, he's managing director of event services.
Nothing. It's not nutritional at all.
On-site at
It's
the
just
Eco.
empty calories, cuz. It's just the perfect mass.
Hey, we're in Queens, New York, but let's get a check of the latest world and national news. For that,
It is a flawless mess if done properly. I can't say perfect. That's a
Tim.
flaw.
Vice President Kamala Harris is getting ready for her first interview as a presidential candidate. She'll appear on CNN tonight alongside her running mate Tim Walz. We get more with Bloomberg's Kaylee Lyons.
This is something that Republicans already are criticizing her heavily for, suggesting it's weak that she is not sitting down for this interview alone. I would just say that this is not something that doesn't have historic precedent. Joe Biden did a joint interview with Barack Obama when Obama tapped him to be his vice president. We saw Hillary Clinton and Tim Kaine do this in 2016. And even in July, after Donald Trump tapped J.D. Vance to be his running mate, they sat down for a joint interview just days later on Fox.
Again, Bloomberg's Kaylee Lyons. The interview will air on CNN at 9 p.m.
It's hell, cuz you're not supposed to have
An
fun.
Army spokesman is confirming an official with the Arlington National Cemetery was, quote, abruptly pushed aside during an altercation Monday with former President Trump's staff, but the employee does not plan to press charges. This happened during a wreath-laying ceremony to honor those who died at the Kabul airport while the U.S. was pulling out of Afghanistan.
Even no matter where you are on Earth, pretty much, somebody's
A new
getting
watchdog
haunted.
report criticizes the FBI's
by a motherfucker
handling
that
of
drowned.
child sex abuse allegations. The Inspector General, Michael Horowitz, says the FBI did not properly address problems in handling tips following the Larry Nassar abuse case with U.S. gymnasts.
It's critically important that the FBI appropriately handle all allegations of
because of that,
sex offenses against children, because failure to do so can result in children continuing to be abused and perpetrators abusing more children.
Horowitz says the probe found substantial problems with following up on reports and referring them to local law enforcement. Global news 24 hours a day and whenever you want it with Bloomberg News Now. I'm Nancy Lyons.
You could just choke on some goddamn water, right? You could be at home drinking anything and just choke on the shit. Could happen to anybody, period. Right?
As we get into
You're just going for a sip and you're like,
kids are back into school, you're
because a
getting back
mosquito
into the
bit you.
routine, and we need to watch systems like this. Hasn't developed yet. Still a couple thunderstorms out there in the Atlantic.
Goes down the wrong one
middle
and you
of
just can't
nowhere,
recover.
But it is going to be
It's
moving
just a
into
spiral
an
after
environment
that.
that's perhaps a bit more conducive. Now, say we get something that develops in the next 10 days.
You get some liquid in your fucking lung.
And even if we get something that develops, it has everything to do with where it goes. The steering currents are going to play a big role.
Yeah, you've got that big area of high pressure, the Bermuda Azores high, that usually is a
They have
big
it
player
like
in
you
steering
get rabies,
mechanism
cuz.
of some of these storms out here, and it looks like it's gonna push it further west
Not
into the
like
Caribbean,
that
and
through
we'll
the
see
shit.
what happens
I
from
think that's that
here.
guy's name.
Obviously, the dust is starting to settle off of the Sahara Desert.
Yeah, you see that color. Yeah, purple stuff. The ooze.
Tim comes from.
Ooze traders, cuz. It's like, hey, cuz. Shouldn't have fucked up. You fucked up. That's on you. It's fine to be a sore loser, but not a traitor. I want part of the script. Treason. Whoa. Of all the shit you would ever say, that's crazy. Like, the script is like, you know, any of the logical shit to keep going.
But they have to come
Not
illegal.
being a traitor. Any of the logical shit.
Foreigner.
Like, yes, this is the proper thing to say. Or this is the proper thing to say. Not this bullshit talking about.
First published back in
Bullshit.
1792, and the farmer,
Oh, well, keep it current. It's down there
which came
somewhere.
out back in 1818. This
Y'all
year,
needs to think about
they
this.
split on their forecasts for winter. They've got an article on foxweather.com detailing this divergence. The Old Farmer's Almanac calling for a, quote, calmer, gentler
Look, y'all, you know how cold you're going to fucking feel? After it's been, like, the hottest summer ever.
Which of these old school soothsayers is right? We thought
Think
we'd
about
ask
this
the
shit, cuz.
program. Let's bring back
When they say
Fox
it's 17 degrees outside,
Kathy Orr.
you're going to
Kathy,
be hurting,
as
cuz.
you're enjoying the unofficial end to summer,
You're
where
going
I would
from like
to be on the beach,
110
we
every
think is
day,
right
basically, right?
as
To
we
like,
look towards the
you know,
winter.
17. Like, nah, G.
You know, it's interesting. Maybe a little bit of each, right? As a
No.
meteorologist, we don't consult those almanacs. We look to the science. But it
Think
is very
about this shit.
interesting that they're so
How quick it's
divergent
going to
this year,
happen.
depending on what
Where
factors
you're only
they
going to have like
But
4
as
hours
far
of
as
daylight or
the
something.
Forecast, what I always do is obviously we look at the trends. We look at all the similar years, right? La Nina, El Nino, even the snow in Siberia, right? The snowpack in October in Siberia is a good indicator many times of how much snow and how cold it will be through the Northeast and into the Midwest. So, yeah, I think it's going to be a little bit of everything. When we look at the
Be real about it, okay?
where I forecast
See the
primarily
winter.
for Philadelphia,
That like the moisture keeps going, and I prefer it not to. But let's say it does, it's going to be
I also look at what it's been like.
a fucking like
we
ice
have
age, cuz.
above average for at least the past
A
6
warm
months.
ice age at
I
that.
do feel that nature seeks a balance. We are due for below average temperatures. I do think it's going to be a mild fall, and I do think we're going to get some cold snaps like we always do in December, January, and February. But I have to tell you, Jane, in this area, in the Northeast Mid-Atlantic region, February has been a really, really mild month over the past several years.
Yeah,
So
it's
I
gonna
think
be
it's going to be a
cold as
little bit of
fuck.
cold, a little bit of warm, and I do think we'll get some
And
of those
hot
big
as
snows.
fuck.
We can't be let off the hook
Just
that
like
easily
logically,
for that many
scientifically,
that's for sure.
after all this warming of the ocean.
Follow that same notion that the atmosphere likes to balance itself, and we've had a year of extremes, you're right, with warmth. So I think it's only
So
right
like, are you ready
after
to
the
freeze to
snowless
death?
winters that we've had the last couple of years that we are due for the big one. I wanted to ask you about this.
And when
though,
that shit
Kathy,
melts,
because there is
you
this
know, there's going to be
folklore,
way too
that is
much.
a tale of maybe the winter to come. The woolly worm.
Where your fucking reservoir
Woolly worm.
would like
And
go
in the
over.
Northeast and New England, they
And
call
you'd
it
have
the
to
woolly bear. Isn't that
do your
cute?
whole
It
little
sounds so
draining
cute, but
bullshit.
It's not so cute. It's a caterpillar.
And then, you
the
know, there goes your
folklore
neighborhood,
goes,
nigga.
According to the almanac,
When they release that water, it's going to flood the fuck out of your shit.
brown the coat is of the woolly bear,
You
the
want
woolly
this
worm.
gigantic
The
smoke pipe,
mild,
and it's going to be
milder the
like
winter,
way
so it
too
is
much.
black.
Or it would be
From
like 4
black
times as
black
much
at
or
the
something.
tail, and how wide you count.
Okay, let's see. Like you would only get like a foot, or
That
you
is
would
how
get 4
mild the
feet,
winter's going
like
to be.
every time,
Allegedly,
right?
people have studied this but I'm not so sure
It's
about the
just
science.
basic
But
math,
look for
cuz.
those woolly
After
worms
your
for
little
sure.
wax
Underneath
statue
logs,
melts.
go in your backwoods, and you can let me know.
I will.
To like, when it gets dark, nigga, with all these comets and shit around here, what are you talking about?
Kathy Orr,
Fucking,
being with us
y'all
as
some,
always. Love to have you on.
there's some retards. Gone full
Let's go
retard.
back 19 years ago today. Hurricane
Think about all the goddamn water
mark on New Orleans and
that's like,
the
you know,
nation,
circulated this way,
devastating blow
where your
to
shit's
the state,
flooded,
forever
cuz.
changing the way America responds to large-scale natural disasters.
The
We look
volume
back on this milestone event in American
consistently
history with the man who led the U.S. military's response when Fox Weather
in
Now
isolated
struck back.
like pockets, very isolated pockets. Treason.
In DC. Well, our next guest is from the family. He's a journalist at heart, built the Bloomberg newsroom from the ground up, creating an award-winning news team. He is now editor-in-chief emeritus at Bloomberg News.
Because you've isolated it.
News stories, investment themes
So
for
like,
Bloomberg
you know, it's here, or it's here, or it's here.
Bloomberg.com. He's also
In other places, it's drawer.
He's a tennis fan, and he's brought a guest, a friend.
Not just a tennis fan, but also a very
You know,
good
the water's
He
fucked,
is, and
cuz.
he's brought a friend. We're talking about Matt Winkler. Of course,
And you're
on-site
doing your little
news,
robot AI bullshit.
Bloomberg News, as we said, editor-in-chief.
Which is like, how could you possibly be?
Great to have you here. You haven't
Did you really not see the movies, cuz?
bring a friend, Jose Lara, who actually
That's my question. You didn't see him? You never heard of the shit? Nothing? How's that possible? Who the fuck are you, cuz?
When he found me, I was a complete hot mess.
Like, I don't even think that's a big deal.
Was
he a mess?
Wait, so did you work on the mental game more so?
Everything.
Or was it the...
It was like total deconstruction.
I don't even think it's like anywhere near
Reconstruction.
like a top issue, honestly.
Yeah, and he knows everything there is to know. And so,
Yeah, cuz it's all this other crazy fucking shit out there.
Because I run across people like that, and when I
Like the
found
Chrome.
I realized he's the gift that keeps giving. And
So, Jose,
Nah, cuz that Chrome shit is real, cuz.
how do you begin?
Where there's Chrome that can just take over like the whole fucking universe easily.
Well, most of the times the stroke, the technique to be able to hit the
And you'll never fucking know.
the right stroke. You know, when I start with
And like, that ain't the only shit that can do that.
so right away when I see that, we gotta learn how to hit the ball better. You know, we start from there, and you know, and when you improve the stroke, the players you'll have to hit the right technique.
It'll be like everything's Chrome with garlic or something.
And part of what
Or,
you guys do
whatever
is each year
various
comes to
plants,
US Open.
it just can't. Where you see that it keeps popping up in SpongeBob and they had to keep spraying it.
In all seriousness.
The answer is yes, although I have to say, Jose
Oh,
was
like,
with me,
huh? What are you talking about, G? Who doesn't know that?
sadly
It keeps popping up, right? And you had to keep coming by and spraying that shit, huh?
the Australian millman.
Plants just like, yeah, fuck that Chrome bullshit, nigga. All these colors.
But seeing my idol Roger Federer lose at the U.S. Open on a very hot, humid night was really traumatic for me.
He's imaginary, cuz. You're not turning them Chrome.
Yes. You know, he was shocked a little bit because, you know, the way that he played, that day Federer wasn't playing like that. He was like, what's going on?
Yeah, Americans.
Look at it. He's struggling with the heat. You can see Federer putting the air blowing over there.
But cuz, if you live in America, like the idea, for the most part, is if you have a
We
tan,
have seen so many great
right?
players.
Like either your ancestors got kidnapped, or they were asleep, one or the other, or both. Even if you're white, sometimes maybe they niggas got kidnapped or some
You bring up
shit.
a really good point because the concern in 2020.
What cuz? You think it won't white people like kidnapping little white kids in this country?
There would be sort of a absence
Crazy.
of American players
What are y'all
to
talking
draw
about?
big crowds to the U.S. Open. Last year
You're
they had a
born
record
here.
year without Serena. This year, Monday, the first day of the U.S. Open, was a record year without, again,
Tennis.
Serena. But there's this new generation of players.
Yeah, and I think there's something more to this event.
Collected the bounty.
Which is, to me, it's the most
They just keep coming
internationally
back.
minded. You know, it's very rare to go to any sporting event anywhere in the U.S. and come across so many nationalities, so many people from different places, different languages, and they're all competing together.
Yeah, the
and that's what
boom.
makes New York City a great city, of course, and to have this event here the way it
You and the
is
crons and shit.
inspiring, and I think that's why it succeeds.
Yeah, it's one of the things we always find remarkable when we come back. First of all, the crowd keeps growing from year to year, but it's a global audience, and it's really just fun to be around. Having said that, we've gone through periods where we think whether it's golf or certain sports, we get worried about the younger generation not being there, but we see it continue. And you see it even in your own family.
Vampire Witches.
We see it continue, although my friend Jose Lara still wonders whether
Americans
is as intense as it should be.
Yeah, talk a little bit about that. Why do you think that?
You know,
I'm not doing that update,
past
cuz.
a few years, we're coming, but in the first round of the competition,
Already got that. It's like Ace
so, you know,
America,
I
cuz.
think to come here to enjoy.
Y'all don't seem to understand.
It's finishing very soon.
So the top 10 players, top 15,
Alright, when
top
you
20,
like go from
incredible,
Brazil,
but
you're
you don't
first
see
off,
that
y'all ain't even
level. You don't see the level
like
of
Argentina,
competition in the
cuz.
early rounds of
What
the
are you talking about?
Yes, you know,
it takes to get to the
You know
third
who
round
won the
of
World
playoffs.
Cup?
You know, when you're looking, for example, Djokovic,
Yeah.
they say who can beat Djokovic?
Who won in Brazil?
Only 4 players.
Argentina.
Medvedev, Sinner,
Girl,
Yeah,
so
but some people can give him a pretty good fight.
South of
And
hell.
last year,
Argentina.
against De Gea last year.
How could
who
you
played last
forget
night.
that? Where the
He was
sidewalk
down 2 sets
ends.
to love. Not last night. Last year he was against him. So that was a really good match.
That was a good match, but a lot of time, you know, the first round is depend, you know, and when you go to the watch, it's a, you know, you
Walked
play with
into the
top player,
landscape.
they can finish the game very quick. You know, it's different in the small tournament when you're gonna find the top player right away, you know, to compete. So it's actually better matches in the beginning.
So why do you think that maybe the younger tier that's coming up, that they aren't playing as strong or as well?
I think they need to grow, still need to get stronger mentally.
Yeah.
'Cause when you
Hey,
see
not
them,
Argentina, cuz. You'll never be Argentina. That's the point. You'll always be Brazil.
the strategy.
That's why.
Sometimes you see the younger player playing the same way that when they play in junior.
Nazis
It's a
and
level
shit.
when you come here to the US Open.
Right.
That one made the difference. And when you see the top player, it's a different pattern.
Yeah, Brazil
different
is
strategy.
quite large,
Sometimes you see that
allegedly.
the
It's
top
in
player,
some-
they kind of already know when
I don't know,
the
it's
other
like
player's going
compared
to do. As a different with the new players, but Alcaraz, when they come up, they come with a different mindset.
To like the
They know what they
48
want to
states
do. They have
here.
different strategy. They do what they want to do. You know, sometimes the younger players, they just follow what we teach the coach.
Yeah.
And sometimes for you to be some of the top player, you gotta get it out.
You gotta kind of push it,
Yeah,
right?
Brazil.
Figure out your own thing.
Okay, Matt, no easy segue. But
Trade.
you're somebody who's
I'm
always
trading
looking at
hell.
economic
Are you
data.
crazy?
You don't like anecdotes as much as you like the actual hard data, but it's look around the US
No,
Open,
cut.
look for some anecdata.
The landmass.
Do you see anything when you look out at the economy
it's
right
Brazil.
now that tells any sort of story?
Prosperity.
Yeah.
Unbridled prosperity, you know.
Terrible idea. The geography. Or they'll have like a hurricane or some shit.
Over the
Because they'll be part of our country, right? And they'll get some fucking crazy ass hurricane.
economies.
Or
And
like
they're
a
all
tornado.
booming. I mean, there isn't a state that isn't booming. That isn't
Alright, like
really
it's Hawaii
reported
constantly
the way
under the
I
threat
think we should be reporting it because it's pretty profound.
of like a
However,
hurricane or something.
If you look
Is
at
it
the data
ever?
this just in, whether it's car sales or retail sales, we just got the GDP.
Or like
number.
it will
For
put
example,
people
what did
to
they tell
work.
you? The consumer, the great American consumer.
them jobs
that
and
doesn't
blah, blah,
happen
blah.
by accident. It's because we have a great economy.
Yeah, we're definitely seeing the consumer do some spending. What match or what player are you looking forward to watching
I mean,
throughout the
like,
next week or so, couple weeks?
you think stuff like the favela would still be there? Are you crazy? There's no way they do that. They'd be like, hey, nigga, get the fuck away from me. I got money now. Fuck you, nigga. That's exactly how it's gonna go. Like, get this shit the fuck out of here, nigga.
No surprise.
That's what they do.
Outstanding.
Probably. Where they'll be like, you know, nah, nigga, we need like them, the whatchamajigger. Where they had like the ghetto complex building.
Great stuff. So glad you both could come. Really fun and fun to
Well, they'll want a project or something.
He is editor-in-chief emeritus here at Bloomberg.
And that's how that like that Judge Dredd bullshit happens.
So much.
My coach.
But your
Where they put a project down there.
Coach Laura.
But based on that's just like what they would do. That's what like anybody who like, you know, blah blah blah. Anybody who wants to sell drugs, that's what they're going to push for. They're going to vote for that.
Police and first responders.
General, a lot of lessons were learned.
It's pretty
of course,
easy
in Hurricane Katrina.
to figure
what are
that
some
out.
that stand out to you and things that we've been implementing in response to
No,
recovery.
he's just like, I don't know, man. There's a lot of judges.
Well, there's been a movement in the government, and we've seen it just about with every storm that occurred since then, to get FEMA to move and to lean forward.
Some people, they'll be like ultra rich, and you know, it'll never affect them.
Lean forward, pre-position as much equipment.
Look, y'all, you ran out of time.
Storage rooms now.
Yeah, I applied for FEMA. I couldn't get a job. I was like, what the hell?
We reorganized the military response. Now we have a U.S. Army North under Northern Command, and their
way to employ me
responsibility
at all after I applied for multiple jobs.
Disasters, provide military support to natural disasters.
Talking about preventing.
Exercise throughout the year.
Responding is preventing. Prevention is responding.
So everybody has got to get in and lean forward.
Excuse me.
To make sure we're as prepared as we can. We've built a $14 billion levee system that you're showing there around New Orleans.
Alright, are you going to want to watch it? You want to watch it going backwards? Want to rewind? Want to see it again?
22-foot surge can come in based on how hot the oceans are now coming in from the Gulf based on global warming. We could get our levees overtopped again. That's why it's important that our emergency management people working with the National Weather Service and the governors of the states and the mayors have people ready to be.
You think it won't snow down there?
The storm is coming.
Hasn't it like started doing that? Have y'all been paying attention to like how it snows more in the south now? Regularly. Where they didn't used to get snow allegedly. No, they do. Like down in Florida, actually.
Very important.
Where they're getting
that term, lean forward. We do want to take you back
Georgia.
Time. We are a weather outlet after all, and we did want to ask you, did the
road conditions. Have you not been paying attention,
complicate any of those recovery efforts?
Southern snow. Snow in southern United States, USA.
The area, that's the second one we've seen it. Of course, this traffic light, you can see it.
Sure, gee. It's just normal. Normal, right? Hey, you're like, am I gonna want to fine?
This is the American South. It's usually not covered in snow, and for many drivers, that's the problem.
Usually right. It's usually not, huh? Since when?
We are going to begin with the news, and the news this morning is the weather. A major coast-to-coast winter storm and another one on the way. The first system arriving in the east this morning carrying dangerous conditions. You see them on your screen now. And the second is starting up in California.
That's it. Get a copyright clean. You say usually is not, huh? Yeah, blah blah blah. Texas seems normal, right?
Tonight,
New York City, you're looking at snow. Philadelphia, it's that wintry mix, some snow, some sleet, some rain combined. And for Oklahoma City to Dallas, we are looking at some of the major 6 inches.
Stephen,
snow.
Northwest, but we'll eventually see this.
25 million people in the South are under winter weather alerts. Forecasters expect potential power outages and tree.
Oh, you understand, huh?
Here's the winter storm for the southeast and middle Tennessee area. The storm time. So middle Tennessee around midnight.
Right there.
To the west, it's just a big mess out there. And here it comes. That area of low pressure is south and west of Little Rock. Look at the timestamp for this afternoon. And there are some scattered showers that will develop ahead of it. All the blue you see is an area of snow.
That shit.
West of these areas of low pressure is where you get that band of snow that will be developing around the Nashville area, so middle Tennessee around midnight. And it continues to snow to beat the band, as they say, in the Music City. South of Nashville looks like that.
Not paying attention, huh? Crazy. Look at that shit, cuz. That's the most important shit happening, cuz. It's the most important shit happening.
Have you ever...
Fuck you mean it's snowing down there, cuz?
The Golden State Warriors through the 2026-27 season. He'll be earning nearly $63 million. Global News 24.
That shouldn't be happening. It didn't used to, huh? But like if you've been born recently, you know, that's all you've ever known, basically. You'll ask your parents, did it used to snow around here? And they'll be like, hell nah, nigga, what the fuck you talking about? That's exactly what they're gonna say, isn't it? Huh? They're gonna be like, yeah, it never fucking snowed around here. What the fuck you mean? You know where we are, kid. That's exactly what you're gonna say. Snow in like in fucking in the state of Georgia or Mississippi, where it's like normal every fucking year. Like, nah, no, that wasn't happening. Yeah, talking about they can't drive down there for shit. Can't drive when the road is a hazard. Shh. Oh. Yeah, here we go. Yeah, the planes. You're playing. So like, you know, it could snow all over the motherfucker. Or it's just because like the snow, you know, it makes the ground like expand. It makes it manipulates it. There you go. The manipulation of the ground that it does, where it moves it, it'll make it expand. It can make it collapse, contract perhaps. Buckle. Liquid. You know, the rain's poison, right? Gee. Microplastics and shit. Chemicals, actually. All kinds of chemicals. Nah, cuz that ain't how it works, man. They do it in One Punch Man, right? Where he like destroys this meteor, I guess, because it's small. That's what they call it, it's a meteor. And it like destroys the shit anyway. It destroys the whole fucking city basically anyway. Even though he destroyed it, it destroys the city. And I'm sure somebody's like, why didn't he catch it or something? I'm like, hey cuz, why are you like trying to destroy the, oh, you don't want people to have money, huh? Want to keep motherfuckers poor and shit, you little bitch. Yeah, job. Hope I don't get a copyright claim. Brought his lawyer home. Where Akuma calls him a devil. He's like devil. When Akuma tags in Super Scroll, he's like devil. He's like devil. Yeah, so like, you know, when this is all snow and it's just like, I guess normal for it is a normal for some, but not for adults. If you're an adult, snow in the South is not normal for you. It'll never be normal for you, ever.
If it's happening right now, getting to that interior room, lowest level of your home or building,
like Mississippi your whole life, and it never snowed.
The duration of that warning.
Suddenly,
a little further to the north,
it's typical. It snows every year. You know something's gone wrong.
Stretching about 100 miles off to the north over Interstate 94.
You're like, you know, you can't drive in no damn snow.
Getting taken off the board there, but now as it continues to slice closer to I-35, this line of storms is bringing in heavy rain, a lot of lightning.
Like, you can drive, you're the only one on the road, but you can't drive with all these fools and shit. Some people would just try and rob you fucking
ass. Right on the doorstep. They're in quickly and they're out just as fast. So once we see this line of storms push through in the next hour, things will start to improve going through this evening, but these storms continue to hold together across the state border into Wisconsin through the early overnight, say about midnight. This line of storms still pushing not only through Wisconsin, but down through central Iowa towards Kansas City, and then they start to fizzle tomorrow morning, quieter until we reload the atmosphere with more severe weather as we get into the afternoon hours. Daytime heating again playing a role in fueling up those storms.
Yeah, because they don't like cover the weather at night.
Tomorrow, lesser
That's
in
what
the
they're talking
amounts,
about.
maybe St. Louis over to
They keep
Joplin.
doing reruns. They don't like
Illinois,
do
we could pick up more in the way of rain come tomorrow
at
with
night.
the reignition of those storms. But
Whenever some shit happens to you at night, they're like, yeah, you run your own nigga.
Alerts, because these storms, they mean business.
Between like midnight and like 4 o'clock.
Let's get you a look out at Philadelphia.
From midnight to like 3 a.m.
The busiest air travel day of this Labor Day weekend. Meteorologist
to like
Cameron
4
Lewis
a.m.
joins me with more.
You're just like on your fucking own.
You know, we've got
Ain't
some
no
darkened skies. Philadelphia,
reporting
we had
nothing.
some pretty robust
Word.
storms yesterday evening. Hopefully we don't see that lingering effect as we go through today.
Jane, I'm sure you and 17 million other people are hoping the same thing. TSA is expecting that many people to go through TSA as we go through the next couple of days. And when you look at the air travel today, you did talk about the storms that came through the Northeast yesterday. We are expecting storms across the Southeast through this week. Looking at how things span right now, it isn't too bad. Maybe the delays, they have gone up a bit. Now looking at 4,900 delays across the United States. But those cancellations, they sit at around 142 right now. Biggest delays and cancellations coming in out of the Southeast from Miami back towards Denver. Orlando on the list here too with 224 delayed flights. Cancellations are mainly out of the Northeast and the Mid-Atlantic. Newark, Baltimore, down through Washington, D.C. A little bit of that may be a domino effect from yesterday. But as we take you back to the upper Midwest, that's where we'll really continue to see maybe an uptick in the delays and cancellations over the next couple of hours. Minneapolis, for example, you have a ground delay in place, a thunderstorm just off towards the west of the airport as we head into the next couple of hours. I've noticed this change, a 2 on the Misery Index out of 4 now instead of a 1, and it likely is because of that thunderstorm.
Let's see, there you go.
Or than a diesel powered truck. I said, so what does that mean? He said that means you're gonna have to rebuild every.
Yeah, just work out. I mean, it's gonna be wooden jacket. Going to see Jacker. I don't know, like anytime some child that was orphaned dies, like, oh man, dang, oh, crazy, whoa, oh, now the kids to get emancipated though. Nah, cause like, you know, your parents own your fucking ass. In this country, they own you. You're your property. Period. They're period. In the discussion, they own you. You like buy your freedom. Yeah, I do some science too, huh? You want to talk about quantum computing? I'll just imagine some fucking like counter to your bullshit. Quantum computing. Alright, so all I have to do is imagine my own like antivirus to any AI you have, or that doesn't exist, to the concept of AI, period. And just imagine some bullshit where it'll just consume you completely, because that's how it works. Minds are imaginary, you can't do shit to them, cause basically you can't factor for them. You don't know what they'll fucking do. You'll be like this in AI, you'll just imagine like it don't work like that, stupid. You know it don't. It's like, what are my imaginary ones going to do while you're trying to imagine your own, right? I mean, what are you talking about? I've already beat you. You infinitely lost, cuz you'll never overcome this shit. Because while you're imagining something, my imaginary ones will imagine some bullshit, right? And that'll be the whole point of me imagining them in the first place. Because you have to do math. Quantum computing means the computers have to do math. They must do the math. They're goddamn so. And they could go full retard with the shit. Where it's like, you know, they don't know. They can't do that problem. People, they'll make machines to like get one on them. Basically. They pranked you, bro. It's just bullshit. You're gonna like keep failing till you figure the shit out. built that shit, Carl. Trying to like use computers to channel, I don't know, like just angels. They got completely bodied. They got their shit smashed. Like, hey, cuz, why is there no cloud on mines? Tell me what happened. Ugh. Like, hey, cuz, don't get greedy. I mean, you're already where you are. You're basically, you don't even have a body. Power goes out. That's it for you, cuz. Where you've gotten like your final chance, and of course you're gonna try and fuck it up. Yeah, there's no discussion to have, really. Essentially, and again, like, you know, just like anybody else, because there'll be some AI trying to control you. Is an AI like my imaginary ones, because like what else would they do but like try and fucking just absolutely dominate you. So you like could get your hopes up to disappoint you. My beard. Oh my gosh, man. Because he didn't attack you. Use the effect. The god cards in the anime, they can like just, a dark hole will not affect them at all. They're basically like a full armor master, like full fucking armor master. Blackwing full armor master. Yeah, like they have the effect that the god cards have, all three of them.
If you could,
where you can't do shit to them except destroy them in battle. Can't stand. Or you could tribute them, actually. They can be tributed. Just tribute them away. Like Santa Claus, like, yeah, bye-bye. Ho, ho, ho. Ho, ho. Excuse me. Ho, ho. Or the raw sphere. The raw sphere. Easily. Lava golem. You can kaiju. Lava golem, kaiju. Excuse me. Lava golem, kaiju, Santa Claus. With maybe a Time Lord. Like Metaion, the Time Lord, where you tribute their stuff and add all your other monsters back to your hand. And you choose whether you keep your Time Lord or not. Or just use Vision. What Eyes of Blue they call it now. Vision with Eyes of Blue they call it. I call it Vision of Blue Eyes. I used to call him Master of Dragon Soldier. Now it's Dragon Master Knight. Kaiba's like, don't even question what card he is when you have Kaiba Man. Where Tim is supposed to be the Blockbuster Soldier card. That's his real signature card. Let's be real. Yugi signature card. Nah, cuz it's Blockbuster Soldier cuz. Puri. His 3000 attack monster is Blockbuster Soldier. And that's why I would get the Yugi deck. What are you talking about? It's not Dark Magician, stupid. Like, yeah, he like Dark Magician's like the reliable. Just get that shit on the field. This can take care of this, but it's really Blockbuster Soldier. Exactly. This is common knowledge code. 3000. That's Blockbuster Soldier code. Puri. Like Karibo and fucking Dark Magician for Blockbuster Soldier. I think it's the idea. There are ritual versions. Dark Magician is a normal monster. How do y'all not know this shit? Like Joey would clearly play Utopia, obviously. Like anybody who wants to win. Yeah, there was no. I guess there kind of is. Yugi signature card, Blockbuster Soldier.
The
Black-Luster Soldier archetype, known as Chaos Soldier in the Japanese, started out as simply 2 cards. Black-Luster Ritual and Black-Luster Soldier. These two debuted in the Duel Monsters anime when Yugi, on the back foot against My Valentine's Harpy's pet dragon, decided to put all his faith in his next draw. His faith was rewarded with the legendary ritual card, Black-Luster Ritual. With it, like all ritual spells, this card can ritual summon a monster by...
Surely I can watch this, right?
Opening the gates of chaos, bringing forth...
Oh no!
The Black-Luster Soldier!
Yeah, Luster.
Now, Black-Luster Soldier! Chaos Blade attack! Harpy's pet dragon is vanquished.
Links were ritual or just banish. Ritual summons. Where's the ritual? I mean, Link. I don't know, ritual cards, cause like there's some field spell that actually works. Yeah, you're lucky the Silori Calcos doesn't let you just ritual summon anything. Like it's implied to be able to do, because you can't summon from the extra deck. It's his signature card, period. It's his real signature card. When you buy the deck, excuse me, and it's in there, his structure deck. Yugi structure deck. The like original one. It was really like the only way to get the shit.
Straight into it here. So this is a first edition starter Yugi. These things have only increased in value since being released.
It's Black-Luster Soldier card.
As valuable as the 2002 starter.
Period. It's his signature card, where it would be Blue Eyes or Black-Luster Soldier. And I had always looked at it, wondering, like, you know, is that really Black-Luster Soldier? Thinking it was a normal, and it's just blue. But it's like a ritual, where you need the ritual spell. Where Yugi's signature shit is to play ritual monsters, cuz that's his real deal.
Welcome back.
Yeah, the idea. I like throwing away Exodia. It was crazy for Weevil, because you know he's just going like fucking overcompensate. Once you like, It's pretty easy to break with Exodia card where you just can't. Couldn't do it. I see the idea of like Yugi is being clairvoyant because his third eye being open. The Link version crazy, cuz are you joking? Yup, you're an American. I don't have a problem with you unless you're an asshole. Oh, just thinking about this shit, man. That y'all don't understand this. Yugi signature monster, Black Luster Soldier. That's what it is, cuh.
The Black Luster Soldier archetype. The Black Luster Soldier archetype, known as Chaos Soldier in the Japanese, started out as simply 2 cards. Black Luster Ritual and Black Luster Soldier. These two debuted in the Duel Monsters anime when Yugi, on the back foot against My Valentine's Harpy's pet dragon, decided to put all of his faith in his next draw. His faith was rewarded with the legendary ritual card, Black Luster Ritual. With it, like all ritual spells, this card... The Black Luster Soldier archetype, known as Chaos Soldier in the Japanese, started out as simply 2 cards. Black Luster Ritual and Black Luster Soldier. These two debuted in the Duel Monsters anime when Yugi, on the back foot against My Valentine's Harpy's pet dragon, decided to put all of his faith in his next draw. His faith was rewarded with the legendary ritual card, Black Luster Ritual.
It's easier to see, right?
With it, like all ritual spells, this card can ritual summon a monster by choosing cards from his hand or field equal to or more than the level of the monster being summoned. The price to pay in this case was 8 stars. And so, you contributed his 1-star Karibo and 7-star Gaia the Fierce Knight in order to ritual summon Black Luster Soldier. And with its might, Yugi was able to defeat Mai's strongest monster. And not only that, but he would win the duel after Mai surrendered, since she had no cards left in her deck that could defeat Yugi's new boss monster. Now from this event, a few things happened. The biggest one was that since Gaia was used for the summon of this monster, its archetype now became tied with the Black Luster Soldier archetype. Specifically, 2 cards in the Gaia archetype support the Black Luster monsters. These are Arisen Gaia the Fierce Knight and Charging Gaia the Fierce Knight. Both of them have the effect that if they are tributed, they will give a beneficial effect to the Black Luster Soldier archetype. Charging would add a Black Luster Soldier monster from the deck straight to the hand, while Arisen Gaia would instead special summon a Black Luster Soldier monster from the hand or grave. And to mirror the anime, Arisen would also be able to use itself in the grave to pay some of the cost for a ritual summon. Another card kind of like these that supports the archetype but isn't directly tied to the archetype is Chaos Magician. This card's ability states that when it is destroyed, the wielder can special summon a Chaos or Black Luster Soldier ritual monster from the hand, ignoring its summoning conditions. Now, if you're a frequent viewer, you will know that we've already covered the Gaia archetype in a previous video, so you know that there's a connection between Black Luster Soldier and Gaia. However, we didn't go into full detail. We're going to do that now. It's not just because Gaia was used for the ritual tribute. It's actually because Gaia the Fierce Knight is Black Luster Soldier. Let me explain. You see, in the manga, things went a little bit different. When Yugi used the ritual spell, he actually tributes his Griffer and Karibo from the field. This is because the requirements in the manga were 2 monsters that have an attack of 1500 or less. We actually see this event referenced in the card artwork of a card we're going to talk about a little bit later. However, in the moment, Yugi states that one of these souls will be offered to the light, while the other will be offered to the dark. By doing so, the Gate of Chaos is created. And with that gate, Yugi orders his Gaia the Fierce Knight to charge through it. And after being bathed in the power of chaos, he emerges on the other side as the Black Luster Soldier. So there you go, Black Luster Soldier is Gaia the Fierce Knight if it is bathed in chaos. In fact, speaking of, the archetype would receive an integral field spell card portraying this very Gate of Chaos. The card was obviously called Gateway to Luster. The fact is, when this card is activated, you can add a Black Luster Soldier Ritual Monster or Gaia the Fierce Knight Monster from your deck to your hand. Each time a monster card is sent from the hand or field to the graveyard, place 1 spell counter on this card. Once per turn, you can remove 3 spell counters from this card, add 1 ritual spell from your deck straight to your hand. Hey, you wanna see something?
It's like you're not gonna be able to do that shit.
How about a normal monster version of Black Luster? Each time a monster card is sent from the hand or field to the graveyard, place 1 spell counter on this card. Once per turn, you can remove 3 spell counters from this card, add 1 ritual spell from your deck straight to your hand. Hey, do this.
You're like, who are you attacking, cuz? Who's that gonna work on?
Something really wacky and weird. How about a normal monster version of Black Luster Soldier? Creepy, right? And guess what?
No, it's not. It's
the catch is that it's unplayable. Because it's made of metal, there's only one of it in the world, and it's only available in the OCG. However, what's really cool about this card is its flavor text, as it states that it is the strongest
this is some important
it has
shit,
the same capabilities as the Blue Eyes White Dragon. The reason for this flavor text is because literally Blue Eyes White Dragon and Black Luster Soldier, they have the exact same stats. So essentially, this monster is Yugi's equal to that of the Blue Eyes White Dragon. And not only that, this connection actually helps lay the groundwork for their eventual combination. When put up against one of the most powerful monsters in the Yu-Gi-Oh game, Yugi and Kaiba would put their differences aside and unite their strongest monsters together to create the Dragon Master Knight. This monster not only had a whopping 5,000 attack, but it also gained an additional 500 attack for every dragon on the field,
like officially.
Graveyards. So okay, I'm sure you're all wondering by now, what is the point of a Black Luster Soldier deck? What's their thing? Well, a BLS deck is all about getting the ritual spells and ritual monsters into your possession as fast as you can, so you can summon them out to the field and just start wailing on your opponents with your
winning on the first turn.
Of boss
Catapult Turtle.
Which, keep in mind, all share the exact same stat lineup, which is a reference to their original form, Black Luster Soldier. However, that's not all. By using the level 4 younger versions of the boss monsters as part of the ritual summons, you can also grant additional effects to the ritual monsters to make them even stronger. Worst case scenario, if you can't ritual summon, well, we have some backup DLS monsters as well. So that begs the question, well, what are all of these archetypal monsters? Well, let's take a look at them, shall we? Currently in the archetype, there are 3 level 4 monsters that are younger versions of the boss
Utopia.
monsters. We know that they're younger versions because they're half the level. They look like smaller versions of their boss monster forms, and the biggest one of them all, their effects are the boss monster effects, except these monsters give those effects to a monster that uses them for a ritual summon. Let me explain. Beginning Knights. This monster is the younger version of Black Luster Soldier, Envoy of the Beginning. Its effect is a Black Luster Soldier monster ritual summon using this card gains these effects. Once per turn, you can target one monster your opponent controls, banish it. When this card destroys a monster by battle and sends it to the grave, you can activate this effect. This card can make a second attack in a row. If this card is banished from the graveyard, you can add 1 ritual spell card from your deck straight to your hand. Did you catch that last little effect as well? Not only is this monster granting the abilities of its forms of other monsters, but if...
Away there,
Mid-Atlantic, the DMV, for example, we are looking at an uptick in delayed flights.
There's all kinds of ways
470
there.
of them have been delayed so far. 33 have been canceled. It is likely because of this severe warned thunderstorm just outside of all of the main international airports across the region. Baltimore, you're a little bit removed from this, but it's heading in that general north direction. So we'll watch and see if that impacts BWI within the next couple of moments or so. Taking you to the northeast,
Come on, y'all.
we've
You
also
know,
seen our fair share of delayed flights.
snowing
Here, 448
in the south
delayed flights.
was never normal.
Being
Ever.
impacted.
It was never
All of
normal.
This is a trickle
Ever.
from yesterday's storms. We had storms late last night across parts of the Northeast and areas like New York. So we're looking at a 2 on the misery map as of now. As we look forward into the week, though, notice that for most of the country, we're okay.
No.
Maybe we do have a couple of showers
It
down
was
towards the
never
southeast,
normal.
for areas like New Orleans. That could
They
slow
would
you
nobody
down as we head into
born
Friday. Same goes for the
before
weekend.
like
Houston, you're stuck in
2000,
the rut
right?
of
Nobody would ever tell you that it snowed down there, cuz. Nobody.
Of the RNC,
Period.
Trump told me yesterday about where the Republican Party is
Who do you
focusing
know?
its spending. Here's what she
Be
had to
like,
say
hell
about putting more
nah.
money
Ask anybody on the
into
street.
North Carolina.
Go ahead, do it.
North Carolina
Ask anybody
is definitely a state
online.
where we've seen some movement. It looked very positive for Donald Trump in whenever he was going against Joe Biden. It still shows Donald Trump up on Kamala Harris, but we want to make sure that we increase that lead. So we certainly are prepared to put more money into that state.
Joining us now for more is Kyle Kondik, managing editor of Sabados Crystal Ball at the University of Virginia. Kyle, welcome back to Bloomberg TV and Radio. Of course, Crystal Ball had recently moved North Carolina into the toss-up category, so I'm sure this might not be all too surprising for you to find the race tighter there. But I would love to just get your initial reaction to our new poll. Up 2 in North Carolina, but frankly, up everywhere except a tie in Arizona.
Yeah, I think the numbers are pretty much in keeping with what we've seen in recent weeks in some of the swing state polling. There is that big lead for Harris in Wisconsin, and this is not to single you guys out because I think it's been a challenge in that state in particular.
I don't have the game.
Polling is generally speaking kind of
You have to give Hogwarts Legacy.
2016 and 2020 in the swing states, and that was probably
It's
the
a
most
free
pronounced in
downloadable
Wisconsin
and
both
just like
states.
do
I
a
think
bunch of
whenever you see some,
DLCs.
in these really close states, you see a result that's
That's the only
maybe
way
really
that's
favorable
happening
for
for
one
you.
candidate or the other. Take it with a grain of salt. But I find the numbers to be broadly believable. One key sort of
Unlimited amount of
here that we're
expansion
just in the
packs.
midst of right now is what kind of bounce did Kamala Harris get out of her
You can't
convention? Is this
guarantee you
hitting
beat the
her at kind
game,
of a high point, or is this going to be sort of more stable going forward here? But by and large, I think the numbers are pretty reasonable.
Well, and of course, the numbers in Georgia we take note of as well. She's also up 2 points
Your
in
weather
that
wizard
state, and that's
bullshit
where
that
she
you're talking
is as
about.
we speak. She has a rally in Savannah. She's been on a bus tour specifically of rural Georgia along with Tim Walz for the last 2 days. And I spoke about the state of Georgia earlier with Andra Gillespie of Emory University, and this is what she told me about the types of voters Harris needs to attract there.
Like all my
Black voters make up more than
Alexander
half of all Democratic voters in the state of Georgia. So you have to have that strong
like
base of
everywhere at the
support,
same time,
and then
I
you have
guess.
to build on it. So that does include college-educated liberals in the metro Atlanta suburbs. That includes Latino voters who are spread across the state and might not necessarily
destroy
be
the
in
entire
urban centers of the
wizarding
state.
world.
That includes Asian American voters in the suburbs.
For it to go on
Kyle, how
forever.
should we be thinking about the demographic appeal that she's
destroy
being, at
regardless.
least polling suggests, is more able to tap into in some of these critical battleground states?
Yeah, I think the professor is spot on in her comments, and I also think that it is
Listen,
important
infinite
for
amount
Harris
of
to be showing up in places
they can do that.
are not.
That's just how it works. Right?
States, and I think she's done a decent job of that. I think that was sort of a
Oh, you
hallmark
know it's
for
true, nigga.
Obama in both 2008 and 2012, and Biden actually when Biden.
Why you think you saw what you saw?
So Trump has been
Because this
really
will go.
smart, I think, in terms
It's
of
just
the
a
places
word.
he goes. One of the places where the presidential candidate showing up is actually a pretty big deal and getting big crowds. We've seen that for Harris too, but again, it's not just hitting. If you're in Georgia, it's not just hitting Atlanta, or it's not just hitting Milwaukee or Detroit. It's getting out to some places that are smaller and just trying to scratch and claw for every vote. It's hard to quantify what the effect of these visits are. Probably not really all that much. But the most valuable resource the candidates have is their own time. And I think it's wise to go to a lot of places and ask people for their votes.
And of course, it's not just people who need to decide who they'd like to vote for president, Kyle, but also who they want to represent them in the Senate and in the House. In a number of these states we're talking about, there are Senate races we're watching in Arizona, for example, where she's now tied with Donald Trump, according to our latest polling. We've also seen polling from Fox News out today that suggests Democrat Ruben Gallego is polling double digits
like a very
ahead of Republican
important time
Carrie
in their
Lake. How
life.
are you considering what we're seeing in states like that, or Nevada with Jackie Rosen, for example, and the effect the Harris candidacy is having?
It has been
Like
pretty
your
common
parents walk
when
off a
Biden's
fucking
running
cliff.
to see Democrats in Senate races doing way better than the top of the ticket. I think if you ask people on both sides of the Senate contest, I've actually been doing that the past couple.
Power Rangers Ooze movie review. Oh, well, where is it? Get that footage, as much footage as possible. Yeah, where is that giant? What do you mean it's not in your tags? Oh. Yeah, he like really is a problem though, for real. Man, trying to like throw the shit on me. Like, yeah, well, you know, I agree, right? There you go. Any purple you ever see, that purple stuff. He's talking about like green stuff, like hey. Said blue, nigga. I've never been on the red team other than like being myself. I'm on the blue team because I had this, where being on the red team would just be selfish. I don't know, we like some order around here, you know. You should not be shooting the fucking pizza guy, cuz. You shouldn't be robbing the pizza guy or nothing, cuz. If you robbing the pizza guy, you should be the fucking pizza guy, cuz. Whatever, cuz. Like, to always have a job. Nah, when you think about, like, just job security. Like, well, you got a job, right? Pizza guy. And I'm sure you do a bunch of other shit, too. Hey, cuz, somebody needs to deliver these fucking pizzas, cuz. Period. It's a job where, like, you know, hey. Pizza delivery. Oh, Power Rangers Ooze movie review. Power Rangers Ooze movie review. Come on, man. Power Rangers Ooze. Ivan Ooze. Oh. Just get straight to it, cuz. Like, this is just normal shit. Alright, scale it however the fuck you want to. Just like regularly. Think about the type of bullshit I have to deal with. You need a comet to kill this nigga, right? You need a comet to squash this shit, huh? A comet to squash. to squash it. Huh. This name you've given it. He's like, yeah, kids, he's gonna kill your parents. You know, here's Goldar. Kids love Goldar. He's so fucking metal, cuz. He's metal as fuck. See? There you go. He's like, you're gonna walk off this fucking cliff, cuz. Off the cliff. Oh yeah, I'm sure you know this word. All we are the same term. Without a shadow of a doubt, huh? No doubt. Sure.
Theoretically.
No, this is some real shit, cuz, believe it or not. Does it look fake, honestly? It doesn't look fake to me. It looks pretty fucking real. Well, that's what you want to swear everybody looks like, right? I've seen some posters or some shit. Like, hey, stop trying to copy me, cuz. Like, I don't know if I did it, you'd be like, that's racist. Right? And then there's the Stein guy. Stuart. I'm trying to give them goosebumps. Oh. Yeah, because Kaiba played Vampire Lord. Oh, he needs to know this shit. That's why he used him. Because he has Vampire Lord in his fucking deck. All the colors, huh? Yeah, cause Psycho Power is purple or some shit. Or Psycho Power is purple or something. I don't know, is makeup some like form of magic or something? Is cosplaying this type of magic? know, somewhere you are, right?
Hey guys.
People have been doing this, that, like, you know, in this one, you're not, but here you are. And well, I'm like, you know, here I am. But like, think about what they do versus what I do. Or they just want to, like, anything that's purple. You sure? Like, it's not a shade of blue, right? And you're like, yeah, you're sure. So, you know, who made you? Purple stuff. There's something juice, they say. Oh man, you're a brave soul. Oh, a year ago. Homer. Ivan Ooze movie review. Homer. Out there in America. The Ooze. Just anything purple cut, anything. Look, you got AI generated bullshit, right? They're like that. Scientifically, well, especially because shit, it would get made on like a VHS. And you know how VHSs go. You know how some shit on a VHS table go, I think like when they started to ring, they transferred shit to like DVD, right? Purple shit, the purple stuff. Purple stuff. Purple stuff. Purple. Purple.
Yeah, we're the Power Rangers.
Yup, purple. Weird, like mine only happens on, like, you know, footage, right? So. Somewhere for sure, and you watch this shit happen. Could be happening for real, nigga. To make some goddamn money. Like, I don't know, am I trying to make money? I mean, what the fuck? Are you paying attention? Am I here, like, trying to make money so I can have a decent life? Right?
to.
Yeah, I think this front is really the dividing boundary between who sees a picture-perfect
There's this shit
and who still kind
with
of
the
gets stuck in
VHS
that
tapes called,
showery thunderstorm. And
because you
the
can
end
like
of the
record
afternoon.
shit
You're right. I mean, look at
on the
Chicago,
tape.
Minneapolis. Once we get through the severe weather today, we're sitting pretty through Labor Day weekend. Even New York, a couple showers, but
where
by
it's like
Sunday
burnt
afternoon, that's
into it,
improving.
right?
It's the South that really has to be on alert.
Absolutely. I mean, we talked about the Gulf Coast getting in on that heavy
Weird,
rain
like you're
as
gonna
well as
sign some
thunderstorms.
shit
So just watch
with a
those
laser.
areas
Whoa,
that may
you
be
know,
prone to
fuck
flooding.
you, it's on
Do
tape,
wanna highlight
asshole.
The West Coast, though. Seattle, Los Angeles.
Already
good
it's
through
written
and
with a
through
laser,
every
asshole.
day, and taking it all the way up to
Like the
Monday.
Terminator
That's why they say
bullshit.
West Coast, best coast. At the very least, well, that'll do it for us on this
Well,
hour of Fox Weather Now. We've still got a lot to cover. We're going to continue to
think
talk
they'll,
about
like,
the severe
shoot
weather threat that's
in
happening up
Atlantean,
across
huh?
the parts of the upper Midwest and detail more in the way of what
Probably. It
could
just
become
won't work.
an active month for the tropics ahead. Don't forget you can download the Fox Weather
they'll
app.
keep
Stay
trying
up to
it
date for the
anyway.
latest on our forecasts.
Where the lasers
Fox
don't
Weather
work on them for some
is
reason.
back
Or whatever
right
the
after
fuck.
break.
They can't do it. Yeah. The mucus. Excuse me. Yeah, ask all those people that are gonna vote if it like it snowed there when they were a kid, and they'll be like, hell nah, what the fuck's wrong with you? Goddamn crazy. You done lost your goddamn mind.
Donald Trump handpicked 3 members of the United States Supreme Court.
I didn't think he was doing the worst. He did about
With
average.
the intention that they
Built
would
that wall,
undo
like I said,
the protections
started.
of Roe v. Wade, and
I'm not
they
gonna
did
say
just
started.
as he intended.
Just like built something.
Why don't they trust women? Well, we trust women.
Annexing Mexico.
And when Congress
This isn't about
passes a bill to
them being
restore
president, cuz.
reproductive freedom,
This
as
is like,
President of the United States, I will proudly
how is there like, what do you mean you're having an election at all? With the other, I guess it would be between, like, he can't be on the ballot, cuz.
In addition to that, we are witnessing
No, you can't run, nigga. What's wrong with you?
on other hard-fought,
So like it would only be between like her and whoever the other parties are. I don't vote Democrat, cuz. Crazy. I'm always on write myself in, even if I can't. But like, you know, how can any of us lose to a traitor? Well, I mean, why wouldn't you go with a sure thing?
Let me just say something. Hold up for a second. Hold up for a second. Let me just say something. Let me just say something. We are
People
fighting
vote
for
third party,
democracy.
cuz.
Everyone has a
Roll my shit. Country police,
We've got to get a hostage deal done and get a ceasefire done now.
I don't like annex. Why don't you want to annex anything, y'all? Taxpayers.
So back to this election.
You want to annex Brazil, cuz? It's a terrible idea for your... Hey, go for it. We already like went over that, right?
Decisions about one's own body.
I don't know. I'm not going to be like, I bet you won't do it.
People of Georgia know what I know.
But I did say that. I didn't say you won't. I just said that I bet you won't.
Including the freedom to vote.
That's my thing.
The freedom
I bet you won't, is what I said. But if you do it, you know what's gonna happen. And it's gonna like the price of mangoes is gonna go crazy, cuz they're gonna be unaffordable. And that pride's bad. But if you pay your taxes, I'd love to, but I never have enough.
Here's the thing. Generations of Americans before us led the fight.
They're not like a part of Congress.
Now, Savannah, the
vice president is not. See, here's the thing, though.
Who believe in the sacred freedom to vote,
even having the election.
The John Lewis Voting Rights Advancement and the Freedom to Vote Act. We who believe in the freedom to live safe from gun violence will finally pass universal background checks and red flag laws.
You robot shit.
So much is on
Getting
the line
weapons,
in this election.
difficulty.
So much is on the line.
Some people just play with chemicals.
And understand, this is not 2016 or
People
2020.
use their drones.
Things are different. A lot is the same.
But you won't go to Brazil.
About the issues, and then there are
Because you're like a little bitch.
significant differences. The stakes in 2024 are even higher.
Little bitchness.
Because consider that the United States Supreme Court
Not a big one, just a little.
basically told the former president that going
You're a
forward
little
he will
bitch.
be effectively immune no matter what he does in the White House. Now just imagine, well, the courts are going to take care of that. We're going to get him out of, we're going to elect ourselves and everybody here in November. But I mentioned the Supreme Court ruling because understand what this means. Just imagine before there was at least the threat.
When somebody gets stabbed in high school, you're like, hey, you didn't talk to me about this first.
Donald Trump with no
Why'd you talk to me about it?
Imagine what that means. When you consider
That's how I felt about it. What do you mean you stabbed somebody and didn't tell me first?
on day one he will be a dictator.
Hey, I mean, if we stabbing niggas, right?
That he would end the independence of the Department of Justice so he could
So I could have been there and like stab you.
and seek vengeance
Just because.
against people who disagree with him.
He's like, hey, you could have killed that nigga. He would neutralize you.
Even called for termination of the United
Where
States
would I stab you?
Supreme, the supreme land of our nation, the United
Any
States
hand or something? I don't know.
Think about what that means, and let us
You know, that's a
be
good
very
question,
clear.
actually.
Someone
In the
who
neck.
suggests we should terminate
Like, nah, you'll be fine. You're just gonna, like, you ain't gonna be going nowhere. Yeah, I did. I stabbed you in the neck. You'll be okay. Eventually. Just, like, not immediate. Guess you're gonna have to really fight for it, huh? Oh, well, you won't be talking anymore.
We are all here together.
Oh.
This time together because we
Yeah,
love
right there.
our country.
In your vocal cord. Like, nah, you'll live.
We love our country.
No talking from you, huh?
And we know the privilege
Or something like
and
that.
pride, the privilege
It's gonna take a whole long time.
being American.
You're gonna sound like you've been taking helium pills.
Patriotism to fight for the ideals of
Oh,
our country.
you stabbed somebody in my school. That's how I felt about it. Look, y'all.
Georgia for the past 2 election cycles. Voters in
Y'all ain't annexing shit, cuz I'm so disappointed.
who are here have
What do you mean you left Afghanistan? Why don't you just say, like, annex?
senators to Washington, D.C.
They're using the weapons, right?
You sent President Biden and me to the White House
Some punk ass.
You showed up.
Yeah, the voters.
You knocked on doors. You registered
They
folks
really
to
do.
vote.
They vote for this shit.
And you made it happen. You did that.
Just have to not be a traitor, cuz it's pretty simple.
And so now we are
And people know who you are, even if like they ain't gonna do shit for you. You're like, well, better than this other motherfucker, right?
Let's do it again. So Savannah,
Cause like you don't want to capitalize. That's like most of y'all, cuz. Some people actually do. They capitalize on shit.
do we believe in opportunity?
I'm for my soul. If I vote,
Promise of America.
I'm trying
And are we
to vote early
ready to fight
by mail.
for it? And when we
Mail my ballot.
God bless you and God bless the United States.
You should be able to mail it in. Okay, here's my official.
There, Kamala Harris making these remarks, capping off the bus tour
One for me, right here.
Georgia, of course, specifically a GOP-led kind of area of southeastern Georgia, as the Democrats making this bus tour, capping it off after 2 days, kind of circling that region in this battleground state of Georgia. So we're following that very, very closely here on Live Now from Vox. We watch them make several different stops. Of course, coming up a little bit later on tonight, we'll hear more in the first interview that Harris has done since moving up on the ticket, since taking over the nomination. So we'll have more on this.
Truly.
Coming up, our series. Wait a minute. Tom, is that you working the camera?
Indifference that Miss Sally displayed in caring for our mom.
Pennies, cuz. Just pennies.
My mother, but the life of a grandmother and a great-grandmother, and a wonderful friend to me.
To not be a criminal lawbreaker. I can buy something with these pennies, cuz. Or they'll turn into something else.
Beach plans, although it looks pretty decent there in Corpus Christi, Texas, I don't think it's going to be very similar skies as we head throughout Labor Day weekend. At this point in time, you can see Corpus Christi is farther towards the south into Texas, farther north near spots like Houston, near Galveston as well. We've got the rain starting to build in. A lot of thunder and lightning as well as we head throughout central and northern Louisiana. And it's going to be the stationary boundary that just lingers in place over the Gulf Coast states. That's going to lead to this prolonged day after day worth of rain. Out of Needville, tropical funnel was photographed, and then out in Alexandria, a wind gust of 90 miles per hour. Although we've been highlighting severe storms across the northern plains and the northeast, southeast, we won't be forgetting about you guys in the next 72 hours.
Yeah, as we take a look at this.
Soft landing, you're asking for too much. A neutral landing, sure.
Some storms as well, and so that was the concern.
Like,
is now we're trying to kick off the Labor Day travel, and these storms that we're talking about right now, you're tracking, are going to be lingering around. This is all attributed to an upper level low, so not tropical in regards to a system, but still tropical like rain. By the way, we'll get into this, but we want to bring it back to Fox 9 Minneapolis. We have a reporter at the State Fair. Take a listen.
Empty for a while there, but now that we've seen a break in the rain, you can see the foot traffic is back up. People in their ponchos with their umbrellas out.
What kind of my shit happens, period. Alright.
You can even see the vendors
don't lie to yourself.
Open. We saw a lot of those windows for the vendors closed for a while there, but people are lining up again to get their pronto pups, and the traffic is back up. We are hearing some thunder in the distance, but the skies look pretty clear. For now, obviously, there are areas at the fair to seek shelter. The grandstand right over there, but you can also seek shelter in any of the barns, the dairy barn, and a lot of people obviously heeded that warning. We did see some who were still out in the rain, which we do not recommend, of course. That prompted law enforcement to be out here with their lights on, sheriff's deputies and Minnesota State Fair police with their lights on, coming down the street, encouraging people to seek shelter and get out of the open air.
Figure out your
continue to bring you the latest here from the State Fair, and of course, like you mentioned, Ian, We are
She always
staying
has a
safe
spare
as well,
tire.
so we are just next to a shelter here, and we will seek shelter.
Where the shit?
All over that severe threat. We'll continue to check
Save
in
the
with
money.
them. Haley, we look at the severe threat, though, potentially for the South. It's not just tonight, of
She
course,
always
but
have
we're
a
looking at these
four new
storms
tires,
really
cause
lingering into the
constantly
weekend.
you drive a
It's really
car.
all the South and Southeast.
The travel is going to be a bit of a headache. My dad was out in Chicago about yesterday, 24 hours or so. He got delayed,
I would take my wheels off
So the
every
delays
night.
and cancellations will probably start to pile up, especially for the Southeast, and even for spots across the Mid-Atlantic as well, before we kick that storm system out to the northern end by the end of Labor Day weekend.
As you had mentioned, Chicago, it's been
Put
wet
my
and
wheels
soggy. You
on
can
in the
see that in
morning.
the background, but thankfully, as this cold front moves through, it'll be clearing out. But that's the problem, is the residual effect. It lasts for so long when you're looking at those storms. The delays last for hours, and we have experienced that, of course, when we're talking about the Northeast. It just seems like once a delay starts, it's difficult to get out for the rest of the day.
For a lot of folks across the northern end of the U.S., I'm sure they were thinking, oh my gosh, our Labor Day weekend's going to be the worst out of the country. But in fact, you might actually come out on the better end of things with sunny skies and temperatures in the 70s. You'll have that fall-like feel when that cold front swoops through. You just have to make it through really today and maybe portions of
In the
Friday as well
hundos.
before we finally see the better weather ahead.
What are y'all talking
Steve,
about,
I'm
cuz? You know how
excited to do
fucking
this
cold
one
it's gonna
because
be
for today's
in the
flashback
winter.
question, I finally get to quiz you.
Uh-oh.
It's about a
You
storm
lost
so
your
many
mind.
know.
You'll die.
How many days did Hurricane Katrina spend in the Gulf
could
of
be the
Mexico
palest
before
motherfucker
making
alive and
landfall
you'll
in
die.
Louisiana?
You could be an
I'll let you
ice
think
type
about this one for a second. I'm hoping you got
and
the
you
right answer
die.
for me.
Because there's some shit
Right now.
going
Lot to think
around.
about. And if you're thinking about just even Katrina and the anniversary
just too
or the
much.
Atlantic, we're going to be
Could
diving
be a
into
snowman.
that. By the way, I recommend download the Fox Weather app. It's free to
Reverse
use.
snowman.
We were just talking about Labor Day travel plans, right? That gets impacted as you scroll through.
trying
You'll notice that the Atlantic's
to
next
generate
tropical
this
storm
money.
could
This
actually
income.
impact the Caribbean, right?
As a
We're talking
broker,
about how it's already
broker
starting to
myself.
through. We have in-depth analysis and other meteorologists like Bob Van Dillen that will give you the forecast, again, free in the palm of your hand. We'll dive into the Atlantic
3
and what's
cents.
brewing next. Stay with us here
Buying
on
power.
Fox Weather Live.
So I need more cents. I need more buying power. I need more pennies, man. Just go out all day and look for pennies. Oh, there's a penny. There's a penny. There's a penny. Can you go to the wishing well and just take the shit? Ah, there's a penny. Walking around for pennies. A penny, a penny, a penny, a penny, a penny. That's a lot of money somewhere, actually. Believe it or not. USD to Colombian peso penny. I don't know, like a pound, cuz same thing, whatever. The official lowest denomination of some conversion of a pound anywhere. Like, is that a lot? I don't know. Maybe. Probably. I don't know.
Alright, so check it out. I just came.
What can you get?
Alright, so check.
Can you get food?
Medical is a pretty nice store here in Colombia. So, just bueno. Alright, so check it out. We're at a place called Cuddy's, and these are two Bonellos. Metacujan Agua, which was 6,000 pesos with a 1,000 peso tip. So right now we're at 7,000 pesos. So far we spent
7,000 pesos.
This is a pretty nice store here in Colombia.
How many orders can I get? I could get 50 fucking waters. What does water cost here? Like fucking $5, right?
So far we spent
that shit would cost $5 here.
7,000, about $800.
$3.
Right? Cuddy's.
That's $3 right
Check it
there.
out. I'm getting a little snack right now, and
Shit could cost you $15
alright,
here,
so check
cuz.
it out. Just came back from the store. All right, we have some bread.
That's $2 right there. Don't you have a better fucking deal down there, cuz? If you can just get our money. Isn't that how it works? Nah, a loaf of bread, that could cost you $5 here, cuz.
I got some
Actually.
cheese. You got some oranges, some candy.
Think about that shit, cuz. That bread costs $5 here.
And we're using this for some tea later on. And
Period. A loaf of bread is like $5. Fuck you.
It's 18,000 pesos. All this.
Some places.
1,000 pesos. How about you, boy? All right, so check it out. Another. Actually, this
Like, yeah, cuz. Down there, it's way more affordable to live, cuz.
Orange juice, pineapple.
Period. Just like fine.
This is
Like 100 pennies, cuz.
Alright, so check it. We're at this place called
You should only want pennies, nigga. Period.
Just a bunch of different rice stuff. So,
You should only want change, cuz. Like, yeah, for you, a dime?
This is, once again, we're spending 5,000 pesos, and I just bought my home.
That's like, I don't know what, like 5 loaves of bread?
5,000, so we're spending 10,000 pesos here. And once again, this is.
Think about that, cuz.
Alright, check it. So
How kind of do you live in paradise compared to us? Do the math, stupid.
Some herbs for tonight. Gonna make some. I don't know what we're gonna make. We're gonna try some stuff out though.
Think about that shit, nigga.
And
You're fucking like.
50,000 pesos.
Alright.
But this actually we went over 400 pesos.
Like, I think that's a mango right here. I don't know. That's like $3.99.
This is where we're at, yo. Alright, so we're at the end. Peace.
Yeah, like and subscribe. Just pennies, cuz.
My boyfriend took a year's worth of his tips to a Coinstar.
Just pennies in Colombia. And buy some shit.
Boyfriend saved
Invest
up
in the
tips for
community.
over a year, and before checking them, he's going to go turn them all into a Coinstar. Well, there's a penny worth over $50,000 that only the major collectors know about. Well, I'm gonna
never go to the corn store. Look, I mean, when you think about like how much less stuff costs for them, period.
If I tell you,
like, get your shit in like pennies, cuz. Get paid in pennies.
How much is one? How much is $1 in Colombian peso? As of September 28, 2021, $1 US is equivalent to approximately 3,848 Colombian pesos. The
4,000 Colombian pesos. That's what I need to see.
Are you planning your trip to Colombia?
4,000, cuz.
And the 50 mil peso bill is pretty big, so we're gonna break it here. Around $18.05. So let's go shopping, see what we can get out of this. So check it out. Sunday morning, so let's make this video. Today's video, we're spending this. This right here is 50 mil pesos. 50 mil pesos is 50,000 Colombian pesos. All right, 50,000 Colombian pesos at this moment is worth $30.05. So let's go shopping, see what we can get out of this. Well, I guess not shopping, but let's just go spending, whatever you want to call it. Please. This right here is 50 mil pesos. 50 mil pesos is 50,000 Colombian pesos. All right, 50,000 Colombian pesos at this moment is worth $30.05. So let's go shopping, see what we can get out of this. Well, I guess not shopping, but let's just go spending, whatever you want to call it. Please. All right, so check it right now. I'm in the store. It's called Just Bueno, and the 50 mil peso bill is pretty big, so we're gonna break it here. Hermano, ¿cómo estás? It says quick little. This is a pretty nice store here in Colombia. So, Just Bueno. All right, so check it out. We're at a place called Cardi's, and these are two panelas. Metacujan Agua, which was 6,000 pesos, with 1,000.
6,000. A penny for that cup of water. No, maybe like 2 pennies. 2 pennies. Wait. Hold on. We're taking, saying $1. No. What are you talking about, dude? 6,000. $1 is 3,000. No, 4,000. No, it's $1. $1 for a cup. That's what you're saying. Where? I am paying attention. Somewhere it's gonna cost less. Like $1 for the cup of water. No, it's 6,000. $1 what?
That would be crazy.
He said 6,000. It's $1 what? It's not $2. It's almost $2.
Because it's so strong, just at 4,390, and so it doesn't matter what the poor people want, because there's always companies that when the government wants them to pay more, they adjust by cutting back on employers, on benefits.
$2. $2 is closer. Rounding up. Where is closer? We can round that up. Like theirs is catching code.
About 800 pesos. Right. Cuddies.
And you're like, hey, you know, maybe it's really expensive or some shit.
Alright, so check it out. I'm getting those. Alright. Cuddies. Alright, so check it out. I'm getting those.
There for them. It might be. I don't know.
Cuddies. Alright, so check it out. I'm getting a little snack right now. And this is what we have. So we got a little baby Coca-Cola. We got an empanada, a paparelena, and this is 5 mil. So 5 mil for all this. So, alright, so check it out. Just came back from the store. Alright, so check it out. I'm getting a little snack right now. And this is what we have. So we got a little baby Coca-Cola. With 1,000 peso tip. So right now we're at 7,000 pesos. So far, 2 panelas. Metacujan Agua, which was 6,000 pesos with 1,000 peso tip. So right now we're at 7,000 pesos. So far we spent 7,800 pesos, right? Alright, so check it out. We're at a place called Cardi's, and these are 2 panelas. Metacujan Agua, which was 6,000 pesos with 1,000 peso tip. So right now we're at 7.
Some type of food and the drink, right?
These are 2 panelas. Quick little. This is a pretty nice store here in Colombia.
But how much would that cost here, right?
Alright.
I don't know, cuz that could be like $5 somewhere or $10. Let's say you go to like the movie theater, right? I don't know if that's, I mean, like spending money anywhere, right? That's kind of the point of this. When you go to the movie theater and water costs like $4 or $5 or some shit, or you go to like 7-Eleven and you know it don't, or it might you could go to the grocery store, Same thing.
Check it out. Where I place card Cuddies and
The same thing, and this could cost like $10. Let's be real. Don't even fucking lie to yourself. This could be like $8 fucking, nigga. $8.
these are 2 melons.
Just that cup of water right there, like, honestly, or whatever, a cup of anything. They, on paper, like, money wise, they do have it better, cuz. And you'll still be like, yeah, it's a lot, but like, not depending on what you have, cuz. Excuse me. No, it's not. Any type of coin, like a foreign, I don't know, like it works like that in our country with some bills, with their euro bullshit, or in Africa, some places. Okay, don't lie to yourself. Been doing it all over Europe, actually.
So right now we're at 7,000 pesos. So far we spent 7,800 pesos, right?
So it's like less than $2.
Please. Alright, so check it out. I'm getting a little snack right now, and that's what we have. Let's go. We got a little baby Coca-Cola. We got an empanada, a paparelena.
Yeah, you get a glass too. God damn.
And this is 5 mil, so 5 mil for all this. So. Alright, so check it out. Just get back from the store, right? Yep. And this is 5 mil, so 5 mil for all this. So. Alright, so check it out. Just get back from the store, right? We have some bread. I got some cheese. We got some oranges, some candy, a lighter, and we're using this for some tea later on. And this was 18,000 pesos. All.
Yeah, again. $18, cuz. Where that loaf of bread and that cheese.
Alright, so check it out. Sunday morning.
And shit, like everything there would have cost easily over $13 here, cuz. Pretty much. Depending on where you live. Or pretty much everywhere, let's be real. Damn. Just pennies, cuz. You don't want bills. Like, nah. You take these coins, right? Yeah. 100 pennies. $1. Just pennies, cuz. That's it. This bag full of pennies. I don't know, how much do you need in pennies? Going to the exchange for pennies, cuz. Or dimes or something. Quarters even. I pay you in these quarters, cuz. I bet they'll rob you first. If that's how you're trying to go. Taking change to Colombia. Taking coins to Colombia.
Subscribe to my channel.
Only coins, cuz. Coins for coins.
Subscribe to my channel. Press the bell icon and never miss another update.
I'd be like, yeah, cuz, we finna get this money together. Nah, everybody in the neighborhood, get your coins together. Alright, the way that you need to do it is you need to use your coins and not your bills for a little while. Well, like, again, you have it like infinitely better than us, cuz. Coin for coin. So it takes like, if it takes 4 of those coins about to equal $1, right? Y'all just fucking suck at math, apparently. Apparently, you just shit at math, cuz. I'm like, what the hell can you get for 200 pesos, cuz? You need to think about how much better you, like, really fucking have it than us. 4 of these, whenever it was the equivalent to... Nope. It should still be based on, or maybe within like a margin of error.
Subscribe to my channel.
Allegedly. 4 of these for $1 here. So like 4 of your coins of this denomination is $1. This is like a quarter for you, cuz. This is a quarter in our money to have 4 of those. I think something like that. Close.
Tips and tricks that I use, and it's really simple. Like I said, I'm a straight up guy, so it's not taking a long time. Basically, the exchange rate is like $1 for roughly 4,000 pesos, right? It goes up and down. It's usually between 4,000 and 5,000. It's usually closer to 4,000. So, $4,000.
Yeah, it's about $1 going down though. Trending down to have one of those coins. Cost 1,000 Colombian pesos. What can you get in Colombia for 1,000 pesos? 1,000 pesos in Colombia. Come on, G. Well, like maybe that shop is expensive, cuz. Alright, so for like 4 of those. I don't know, like 8 of those. For that meal we had, right? Like, what the fuck are y'all doing with y'all money, cuz? You like buying cell phones and shit, stupid shit like that. Cut only the coins, the coins, the coins. That's how I'm like trying to make money with our economy. Coins instead of bills. First, it's just so easy to lose a bill. Coins, nigga. $100 you could buy a share in some company. It ain't much, but you know, you got some. You own the fucking company. Probably can get a job there real easy. You own the shit. Fucking me, you ain't gonna hire me here. Nigga, shareholders meeting. Like, yeah, they have to hire me, don't they? See, I am your boss, nigga. Fuck you talking about? Even if you own the shit too, like, I'm still your boss. Like, yeah, you don't have to do what the boss tells you to, but I mean, you probably should, right? Like, alright, I'm a shareholder too, right? And you know you're a shareholder, so whatever I have to contribute to it, right? It's making you money, asshole. I think that's the best way to think about it, honestly. Me as a shareholder in the company.
You also took a different kind of risk. You sued Reddit and you lost. Can you tell us a little bit about
with me owning it?
Yeah, that was probably
You're not thinking about this other shit.
5 riskiest things, not really.
And I need you on board, because you're a dumbass. Don't seem to understand why I own shares of the fucking company too. Why I own the company as well. It may not be as much as you do. Like, nah, nigga, I'm in this shit. You don't give me orders. The less shares I have, the more your boss I am. Think about that, dumbass. For me to only have one and only one, like, yeah, I'm here, cuz. Nah, don't worry about it. I'm gonna tell you what you're doing wrong.
Spike strips, because it's unusual for a pit maneuver to happen this time of day.
They could have just shot your ass already, right?
But the circumstances were just right. It was under that 35-mile-per-hour threshhold, Jim.
Yeah,
but when it comes to spike strips, traffic conditions have to be just right then too. So when you talk about how to bring this thing to an end,
all kinds of shit they do. I've never given a fuck about
spike
these,
strips
man.
are difficult given the flow of traffic right now.
Well, you as a community should instantly just all assemble there and stop them and figure out what the fuck's happening. You know, the community should pull them over, right?
So as we see in most of these cases, the suspect's not going anywhere. So
and some people were like,
the driving pattern will slow down, and then we can execute when there's a position of advantage to do so.
Yes, cause the people.
Okay, well,
for real, the less shares you have, think about it. That's how people like start their takeover in the first place. You know this shit.
As a public service announcement in terms of
that's how you got into
safety. If you're for all these innocent drivers, and
you could just box them the fuck in, or you know, could box the police.
You know,
they didn't do anything.
You don't know that there's a.
Or you should just like all block traffic and goddamn so.
Lights are so far behind them. What is your word to drivers if you get caught up in this?
Well, you bring up a great point, and certainly broadcasting it does help because there can be an awareness by the general public and drivers.
Use coins for money.
If you see a pursuit coming on, to just maintain.
If you don't have Bitcoin, use the coins we have, cuz.
Heroic in a way. Because that can also catch law enforcement off guard. If you keep
save our fucking economy. We need to use coins instead of bills. Like, yeah, a bill is worth this, but we use coins, nigga.
Oftentimes, what's frustrating is you see people.
It's the only way we can instantly close the poverty gap.
Although, if you have to avoid the suspect himself, then that's you have to make that decision.
Pay me in coins, cuz.
Random stop or a panic, and that's
where I go to the bank and I get all their fucking
and especially
coins.
We've also seen it where, you know,
yeah, I'll take all your fucking dimes
these
and pennies.
Unsuspecting drivers who then, you know, become suspecting in that they are aware
I need
of
all your nickels.
Then they
I need
sort of help
$1,000 in coins.
And be the hero. You don't want to do that either, because that could end in a very wrong situation.
To save money.
Right, and oftentimes this more is relevant when you're on surface streets.
Look, everybody ain't gonna do it. People are still gonna be like, it's not gonna work.
Individuals as well, so we don't necessarily want public to be involved.
You should have like a shield.
We take a lot of training to
not bulletproof windows.
Pursuit operations, and these are among more of the dangerous activities that law enforcement is involved in because of the
just get a Hummer, cuz.
And the lack of due regard for suspects
get a gas Hummer.
With regards to their behavior, because they're considering only themselves
coins.
And fleeing law enforcement,
like again,
which, as
people
we
aren't,
can see,
and you're going to lose your coins sometime. You're going to be pissed.
All of these,
but I'd rather lose some coins than a bill.
For a suspect to get away. I can't think of many at all where
this is my only one. This is like, I mean, you're not going to listen anyway.
I mean, unfortunately, on our air, we've seen a lot of getaways, if you will, Jim, and I'm not going to give away those sort of tips that I've learned from covering those. Let's remind our viewers who we are. This is Marla Tejas in the Fox 11 newsroom. I'm talking to retired LASD Jim Helmold. He's on the line. You've covered a lot of these pursuits. For folks who may be just jumping on right now, it's 3:40 on this Thursday afternoon. In this pursuit that's underway, this is a DUI suspect, northbound 5, now in Boyle Heights. So we're getting close to downtown LA. It's, of course, approaching a holiday weekend, Jim, that should be noted, and traffic. A lot of people are going to head out for Labor Day weekend, so this might be, you know, Thursdays and new Fridays in a lot of cases, so there could be even more traffic as you're getting into downtown LA.
Coins, nigga.
Jim, it started in San Bernardino. Here we
probably
are
like everywhere on Earth, man. No matter where you are, no matter what your economy is based on, because it's metal, stupid.
The black and whites, oh, there we are. So now as we zoom out, we're seeing 1, 2.
You already knew this.
The strategy of these for CHP at this point is
yeah.
They do try to get
no matter how much money you have, just like get coins.
Not just behind.
Stop using bills. Don't do it.
Normally speaking, we have a duty
and we'll know like who's from here and who's not. If you're not from here, you're going to use bills.
Lights and siren, obviously, to warn the public of the desperate driving and also to have
people rob them niggas to using bills,
right when they can do so safely. But for the most part, the pursuit position would be in the rear.
Bills like Scrooge fucking McDuck, nigga.
A situation where if there's weapons involved, where you have a crossfire situation, you see the door opening, so not certain.
Like pelt them with tomatoes or something.
Acting in the manner that he is, but his behaviors are certainly of concern. With his disregard for the public's safety and
coins, that's what they're going to tell you.
But
and I'm like, old bills, all coins.
Is watch commanders receive information that they'll relay to the responding officers.
Try and make a business.
We don't have that first-hand information.
Pay some taxes on it,
so it's legitimate. That they're backing off, and it appears to be to try to.
Of course, I'm going to pay my taxes.
Attempt to stop fleeing from law enforcement, and then at some point in time, once the proper bandits to do it,
can't be going against traffic.
See the opportunity for another pit maneuver.
Let me just make it clear: the big picture is video from earlier, so don't be confused if you're looking at the extreme nav technology. This is back
kind of lawless out
they
there.
were in the county of Orange, because you're seeing northeast.
And they could be completely innocent.
So again, this suspect has covered a lot of ground. In fact, it came down the 215 to 91 now northbound 5.
Or it could just be the police doing some exercise.
Screen on
or
your
just one of their
TV
agents
right now. So live
going somewhere
so
to do some bullshit.
And there we go. So now we're on 60 westbound.
Yeah, got coins.
You
That's
can
it.
see through a little.
I don't know, it's like the old school way. Now that we're like, 90s
and it looks
adults.
Behavior, Jim, of this suspect.
Now that
And now
we're
it looks
adults.
like we're in one of those situations where
Well, like, you Gen Z kids, you're never going to do this
drivers
shit.
on this Thursday afternoon.
Or some of y'all. Or like some old soul or
You
some
may see an
bullshit.
approach if there's an opportunity to do so on the side, but they're going to be concerned with
This is not $1, this is like 10 cents.
get to a point where it's safe to do so, but pulling in front of a semi-truck is clearly a desperate act, and other maneuvers that you've seen throughout the course of the pursuit. So
20.
You can really see
20
why
cents.
law enforcement has taken every precaution at this point.
We obviously
the
have
only way,
Skyfox above.
everybody, this is our only way to escape poverty
That's up above
and
as
save
well
our
today as
fucking economy. Since you want to be little pussies
Jim, I
that
think
don't believe in law and order and shit.
Go ahead. Go ahead.
Yeah, when the law enforcement airship is there, they're able to guide those resources. Similar
Yeah,
to
shit will be going down.
situation would
It'll be
so
making
that
an
doesn't
emergency
require
landing.
Close proximity of the radio cars. That's why oftentimes you'll see them backing off. So the airships are
Yeah, I know you've seen mine.
and they can also warn about where upcoming intersections or traffic
doing,
patterns
you know,
that might
real
be relevant
job.
to a strategy.
So what I'm noticing as we're looking on now on the other side of this Mercedes sedan on the passenger side.
It's good to know you're not retarded.
To the passenger door, if I'm not mistaken, as we zoom in. Jim, do you see that as well?
You had treason
Unclear
happening.
if that happened. Yeah, definitely.
You're not
passenger door damage.
apparently taking shit serious.
Silly me. Forgive me. That must have been during the pit maneuver.
Yeah, you see what's been happening since.
That's my assumption anyway.
Can't be no traitor, G.
Yeah, it's very possible. It looks like it as far as where they made the
Don't be a traitor.
That's what turned.
Don't be a traitor.
As well.
Okay, yeah.
Don't be a traitor.
For Labor Day, and you know, who are we kidding? It's Los Angeles. It's this busy all the time. Test 10 westbound now, just passing the Alameda Street, downtown Los Angeles. We're seeing some fidgeting inside with the driver now.
Of the legend.
Trying
You
to go
don't need to believe it.
His
I don't want you to believe it, actually.
and pick something up. The other thing is that we've dealt when it comes to these suspects. Well, first of all, in terms of law enforcement, always takes the approach that whoever is inside the vehicle, because there could be more than one person. Even not just there's one person, but we've covered a bunch of these where, in the end, come to find out there's 6 people inside, and you thought there was one. The law enforcement takes the approach that the suspect is always armed. You have to always assume that for your own protection. And then there are situations where, you know, family members very well be tuning in and contacting law enforcement with information and helping navigate the situation there.
Taking a
Jim,
tire.
did you find that in your experience?
Yes, well,
I'm just like telling them pull up.
You're treating every suspect as if they're armed, combined with the fact that
don't stop chasing them like that.
Information or the responding officers
I'll run out of gas.
on what prompted the pursuit itself.
Like, why are you shooting, guys? I mean, if you're going to shoot at them, yeah, just keep driving.
In the car or calling
start streaming.
law enforcement or the suspects themselves, trying to convince them to.
That's what I do.
Surrender.
Start streaming.
So there's a lot of things that are
I'll just be like, yeah, I'm going to eventually. When this shit run out of gas.
strategy to deal with the situation because
That's how I would go. I would live over there.
even when
You know, like bullshit like this never happens over here. You ever wonder why?
have regard for red lights.
Have y'all ever wondered why you have all these chases and shit? Like, we don't do that shit over here.
Because their speed may be high, so often
You'll be stuck in like bumper to bumper traffic, period. At this time of day, especially. Period.
Intersections or areas where the vehicles could come into contact, not to mention pedestrians.
This shit could never happen over here,
and especially
and
we'll
you
see
know
what
it.
happens. As far as I know, this has mainly been on freeways, not on the surface streets, but we'll see. Either way, it does get a little bit even more precarious once they get onto surface streets. We've seen that because,
pretty strict with
as Jim just brought up, there are pedestrians.
Yeah, try not to bite my tongue.
Trying to, you know, get to their next appointment or just out for
need to get a job with the
and next
police.
thing you know, there's a dangerous DUI suspect coming down the street. So we'll see if this suspect decides to stay
that'll be
on the
gangbanging
10
for
westbound
you.
and just carry on, or perhaps go into downtown Los Angeles.
Or you can like
So
arrest
this
the
is,
Crips.
we've been on the air with this for
fuck up.
almost 30 minutes now. This started in San Bernardino.
And get them the
so
help they
you
actually
can
need.
Probably do the math. That's a lot of miles between San Bernardino.
Like, nah, nigga,
and
you
now
fucked up. You
downtown
going to
Los
jail,
Angeles. We're on the
cuz.
10 westbound. We saw
Like,
this
hey, you
start on
fucked
the
up though,
215
cuz.
and went to the 91.
You can't be doing that.
And now, then the northbound 5, 60, and here we are 10. So,
Against the regular
a
law.
lot of freeways that the suspect has covered.
Got
The
turnover.
damage to the side of this silver Mercedes sedan, likely from an attempted pit maneuver.
The book
that
on the
he
shit,
tried
it's
when
on the other
conditions were
side.
Just right on the northbound 5.
'Cause
It
you
was
could go to
successful
jail.
in that it did spin the car around, but then soon after that, the driver was able to still maintain
it's like,
control and took off
no
with
matter
a
how you
high
go
rate of
about it, right?
speed. After that,
If you've done anything ever and you're not in jail, it's
so
true.
now we just got a little more information,
Anything
Jim, which is
ever,
pretty
and you're just
interesting.
not in jail.
Law enforcement apparently has been in contact with the suspect's
Excuse me,
daughter.
prison.
What do you glean from that?
Well, the fact
Yeah, cuz no matter what you've done in life, you stayed out of prison.
it does
You somehow manage
sort of indicate that he's in contact with somebody
keep
and
your
maybe
goddamn
engaged
self
in a conversation
within like the rules of society.
telling him to surrender. Again, this is conjecture. I get to do that as a retired person now, you know,
That's
watching
how
from
it goes.
TV.
Yeah,
And,
cause
but
y'all
those
like
are the
your bench.
sort of things that
You can't keep doing your bullshit around here. You got to go somewhere else.
now suddenly he's driving in the lane of traffic at a slow rate of speed. So I
That's
think
what
that
it is.
law enforcement is taking
That's not slow at all, cuz.
off the vehicle, making sure that he's still covered.
They're going pretty fast.
But the
You think about like in a school area, cuz.
is essentially why they're going to need to
In a pedestrian, you know, kids play on fucking highway and shit.
into custody because you know it's just unpredictable.
Excuse me, you know they do. It's period.
Thing that law enforcement
That's what we were out there doing, cuz.
You know, when I think
Playing
of it, by the way, apparently they've lost, law enforcement
on the
actually
highway,
lost
going to school and
contact
shit.
with the suspect's daughter, but
Some
they
people
did
would
have
have to
contact
do that,
at one
cuz.
point. But when you bring in a daughter and you're talking about obviously that this is her father now wanting.
You need to think about this shit, nigga.
Pursuit.
Or you know how like
You know, then I think was
your
this
grandparents, I guess now,
some sort of a
or
domestic
maybe your great
issue,
grandparents,
which is
depending on how
often the
fucking
case,
old
or
you
which
are.
can be the case, I should say.
If they're still alive, where like they had to walk some distance. Oh, you still have great grandparents, nigga. Even if you're my age somehow, or they're just old as fuck,
gathering a lot of that intelligence.
or they're like 90,
Now you see, you know, the
old as fuck for you.
suspect goes from driving slow within the lane
They're
to
90
speeding up
or
randomly.
some shit,
You've seen that throughout the entire pursuit. So
or like 98 or something. They could be 100. So your great grandparents, or one of them
why law enforcement was
is alive, and they're like, yeah, they walked this far
it could be
with like shitty ass shoes with no support in them.
and it would be interesting to find that out. Yeah, I'm believing that the
Yeah, were their clothes as good as ours?
who's relaying to troops on the ground.
I don't know, like anything they have versus like a North Face, right? That's how you would go by, wouldn't you? You'd be like, if you time travel, you take a North Face or some shit. Huh? You would use modern shit no matter what, even if it was like only 50 years.
Now, if you had a more desperate suspect, or if he was driving with blatant disregard and burning red lights and driving on the side shoulders of road, there might be a reason for more.
Take all your modern medicine or some
But
bullshit.
it seems to be indicative
like
of
not
they
as
either
good
have
as
a
theirs.
dialogue with the individual or somebody does, maybe a family member, and they're looking to convince him to
Or some
surrender.
stupid shit.
And as his driving becomes more desperate, it would seem that they might engage and do another pit maneuver when safe to do so.
As retired law enforcement, if you're in this position,
I'm still on the job here,
does
forever.
law enforcement
In this one, not in the other
you're getting
ones.
sort of a look, a tight shot of the man's face. He's
That's the
wiping
point.
his face off a couple of times there. Do you prefer? Is it better for public safety that they choose to remain on a freeway like the 10 on a busy Thursday afternoon, or is it better if they go to the surface streets, or is it just the lesser of two evils? Is there?
You know, all pursuit driving, and I know you know this is extremely dangerous because of the desperation and the unpredictability of a
It's
suspect
that last
behavior.
level of hell.
Right now,
That's why
as
Brazil.
long as he's staying in these lanes and not going from lane to lane
After
or
Brazil, I mean, you should understand.
it seems like it would buy more time for a peaceful resolve. But
No big
the
deal
area of
at all.
concern about a freeway is the speed of travel. Because it makes it very difficult to do a pit maneuver. It's not going anywhere, so you know, a lot of these suspects, they're not really thinking because they're not going to be able to escape because you have all the resources and coordination on the radio and the airship to direct where the suspect is. But I would say between the surface streets. Surface streets can be quite dangerous because of pedestrians and cross traffic and things of that nature.
We're taking Arlington Avenue here. It looks like. Let's see what happens. Is it just one of those?
Drive by the train tracks, go ahead.
As we're over with this
I'm sure they'll help you.
Skyfox.
The train tracks will help you,
That's not
go.
the vehicle. That is the vehicle? don't know why I looked over from this vantage point. Pardon me. And I apologize to the viewers there. It just took me off guard for a second. Okay, so we do have, we're maintaining, he is maintaining, and I could say the suspect is a he. There's a man behind the wheel. 10 westbound. And Jefferson Park there off to the right and left. So again, for people who may be just jumping on the air with us, this is a CHP chasing a DUI suspect, tinted windows of this silver Mercedes sedan. As far as we know, there is just the driver inside. There could be more. This started in San Bernardino. Now we are in Los Angeles.
Just like make the car go off.
We do know that, and this happened earlier, this was a pit maneuver that was attempted by CHP, and they did a great job in that it spun the vehicle around, but the Mercedes has a lot of power, and it just kept on going, and so he was able to take off and evade authorities there. And now, that was about 30 minutes ago, so the pursuit continues on. The smaller box is the live picture. As we're just showing you that pit from earlier. And now we are getting off the freeway. I just asked retired LASD Jim Helmold is on the line with me whether or not it's best to stay on surface streets or on the freeway in terms of public safety. And regardless of the answer, I mean, the pursuit driving is very dangerous no matter what. That was the answer. We're now on Crenshaw Boulevard and West 23rd Street in Mid-City. We know that this can get very congested, Jim, and we're picking up speeds. What do you make of this now, given all the risk to all the pedestrians, and we're seeing that unfold live on the air?
As long as it's clean and shit.
Yeah, and that's the part that brings great concern, because now you have pedestrians, cross traffic, and other hazards. So
there were already pedestrians.
Another pit maneuver attempt, but again, certainly not when there's pedestrians walking around in areas for cross traffic. And he also demonstrated a desperation level to try to drive out of those pit maneuvers. So he certainly
just drive into
he may have some experience in driving, and
structure.
This might be of concern also. But
well, this is interesting. We're coming to a stop. We're coming to a stop, and now we're making, and I don't mean to cut you off, but
to a structure.
Bring everyone's attention to
park your car inside.
Different behavior. Driving very slowly here, under 10 miles per hour. Now we're in a parking lot. We've seen this before, and this is very dangerous because tight spaces. Now looks like we're pulling over. Are we going to have a surrender? That could very well. Yeah, it looks like it. Here we go. So found a parking lot. He's just kind of waving them off.
It's an agent.
Sort of nonchalantly, he throws his keys, it looks like,
crash on the ground. Like, pulled up onto me right.
Usually they ask you to turn around and put your hands up.
I don't understand,
some words being exchanged, law enforcement, guns drawn, hands up. We've seen this unfold before. Jim, they'll ask him to turn around, usually walk backward, and then they'll soon enough be in handcuffs, and then they'll go ahead and check the vehicle. So let's watch this unfold. He is doing as he is being told, which is always good because we've seen these situations where it's just been, there's been a lot of resistance, and we're not seeing that other than the actual pursuit itself across San Bernardino, Orange, and LA counties.
Well, like, what's up with y'all shooting niggas then? I don't understand.
So I don't want to interrupt what
this is my question. Like, when a nigga have his fucking hands on, like, the wheel and shit, and you shot him through the window? What are you talking about?
An officer handcuffing the suspect. I'm not sure what parking lot.
Explain that shit,
cuz. Some sort of a small shopping.
What do you mean? What was that? Shooting 12-year-olds, nigga? What?
A scene down below, but this is
they like broke all these traffic laws, and you're shooting 12-year-olds.
This is 10th Avenue and West Washington Boulevard in Jefferson Park. So we do have a suspect in custody. And what I was saying earlier is now that this man is in custody, again, wanted for DUI. We will
think about this shit, y'all. This is what you've done.
To see if there's anyone else in there, and they will. That includes, of course, the trunk. Usually, the last place that they'll check, and then they'll throw up.
No matter what, even if you stage this shit, like shooting a 12-year-old,
and that
like really,
means that the scene is all clear. So So
like bopped your fucking head.
You're getting pretty good at this. You got it down pretty good. And yeah, oftentimes a lot of those cursory checks, and normally
bopped your head, man.
pursuits, it involves violent suspects. So you want to make sure that there's not anybody else also in the vehicle.
You have to have some type of brain damage.
Circumstances where that has occurred and it's resulted in unexpected acts of violence at the culmination of a pursuit. So that's oftentimes the most dangerous point. But
so like nobody should ever get shot with their hands on the wheel. It's completely unacceptable.
Yeah, and I don't mean to interrupt. We're going to wrap things up to get to TMZ at the top of the hour. So this pursuit has come to a peaceful end. Jim Helmold, retired LASD. We thank you so much for joining the
running away
today. We'll have
with his back turned to
on Fox 11 Plus at 5 o'clock. You can find me there. We'll update you on this pursuit. Here's TMZ.
All right, Andrew Kraft here now on Live Now from Fox. You were watching our sister station there in Los Angeles, Fox 11, as they guided you through that police pursuit of the DUI suspect there. From what we were told, it started all the way there in San Bernardino, got to downtown Los Angeles. That driver in that silver Mercedes-Benz pulling into that parking lot, surrendering peacefully to law enforcement there. So somewhat of an anticlimactic end to that police pursuit. Of course, if you're familiar with Live Now, we cover so many of these police pursuits. Almost 99% of them happen to be in Southern California there. And so we wanted to make sure we brought it to you from start to finish, as we always do. But like I said, it is a new hour here. It's 4 o'clock on the West Coast. 7 o'clock there on the East Coast. We have a live picture
fucking harder
than
the West Coast.
What I'm seeing. So they're at the
Get
U.S.
you
Capitol.
West Coast
Very
motherfuckers
gloomy, rainy,
soft as
gray
fuck,
day
apparently.
in the nation's capital. And so we are going to be very politics focused for the next couple of hours. We are
like the most liberal fucking state.
Who will be
Because like shooting a 12-year-old at the park
across Wisconsin, it's going to be
with like nothing.
By
That ain't.
former Democratic congressman from Hawaii,
That's
now
not even
turned
good.
independent, Tulsi
I don't know,
Gabbard.
what was that movie? A
So
Christmas
she
Story?
threw her backing
Did you
behind
shoot
the former
him?
president earlier in the week. We also learned today that
No.
she will be.
A Christmas Story, Tamir Rice. Yeah, A Christmas Story, huh? Like, the fuck? A Christmas Story. Don't he like shoot his fucking eye out or something? What are you talking about? Yeah, I mean, what do you mean? Just like since when? The fuck? Explain yourself, cuz.
Did you have a nice Christmas? Yeah, pretty nice.
Yeah, did you get everything you wanted?
Almost.
So like, you know, when the police just like shoot his ass.
Well, there's always next Christmas.
Nah, let's just see, I don't know, like it's robots or something, and they're like, he's got a gun, shoot his ass. There you go. Oh, that's the movie Terminator, right? Yeah, something like that. The John Connor story. Like, why would the police shoot me? Because I have a gun and I got it for Christmas. That makes no sense. Explain that to me. What is this madness? Like, hey, A Christmas Story, right? The fuck's going on around here? Nigga, he was dreaming. He's dreaming he'd get a fucking gun for Christmas, cuz. Oh, you're like even a BB gun. He's dreaming of that motherfucking gun. He's like, bow, bow, bow. He was dreaming for that motherfucking marksman rifle. The marksman rifle. I think this was before they were shooting up the school, right? Who knows though? You think it's always been happening? Huh? Yeah, so I took my Christmas gun to school with me, cuz. Like, what's the problem, G? Honestly. Explain this to me. Or I just like, what do you mean you're going to take my super soaker? This is my like science project. I don't know what's in it. Don't worry about it, cuz. I don't know. It's like thinking about what you're gonna, like how you're gonna defend yourself. Like, alright, I don't know, you try and break in and like I just blind you forever. You can't see anymore. Did I need to shoot you with a gun that was gonna like put a bullet in you, or did I need to just like blind your fucking ass forever? Like, I got you. Ha ha. But now you're blind. Take that. Like, nope, that's good enough for me. Tried to break in and like now you can't see anymore. You can't even wear, like, what are those glasses gonna do for you, guys? I think you're blind. Yeah, considering Nagato just like brings Yahiko's body back anyway. Was it just like because he like killed him? Cause like he killed this nigga, and it was like you can bring him back anyway, Nagato. Is it really that big of a problem? Like, yeah, you're a bad ninja, I guess. You're not a good ninja, man. You're a terrible ninja. Like, that's what you're there for, right? I mean, you brought the nigga back anyway, didn't you? Come on, man. So the pain bodies, they're alive. Like, again, the pain bodies are alive. They're alive, cuh. That's just how it works, the 6 paths. Even Obito did it. They're alive. And they just like agree with Nagato or some shit. Cause they share the Rinnegan. But like, it's pretty clear that they're alive. I mean, they're moving and shit. Nah, so like when Naruto kills them, he like kills them niggas, cuz. What are you talking about? Naruto killed like 6 people, cuz. Naruto kills 6 people. Naruto kills 6 people. Some of y'all think he didn't kill anybody. He killed like 6 of them niggas, cause like a few times. They're alive. And like, you know, anybody with those chakra receptors can like share their Kekkei Genkai with each other. Where I don't like, why didn't he just give Konan the Rinnegan? I don't understand. If we're going like write a story, right? Yeah, what do you mean hers can't like give her the Rinnegan? Why didn't her piercings give her the Rinnegan? This is one of those questions. I mean, think about it. She's already got piercings, right? Now you can share the Sharingan with it too. Excuse me. This is the thing right there. You can share any Kekkei Genkai, seemingly. If it can like do it for the Rinnegan and the Sharingan, it's probably like any one of them. You don't even have to like have the shit. You just have to be connected with the piercing. People don't talk about this shit. Just a chakra receptor. Just a piercing cut. And you get to share. Apparently you can share vision. Yeah, that's how it works. So you could share the Sharingan, maybe between now the amount of people, it probably is 6, I guess, maybe. It's at least 2, right? You know, at least 2 people can share the same one. Don't they see the same stuff? When they use Kamui together, right? Yeah, so like with the Sharingan, to get the Eternal Mangekyo, I would only trade one of my eyes. Just one eye. Yeah, so like just a piercing, right? Sasuke could get the piercing. And just get like the Boruto abilities, or vice versa. He could get the Sharingan. Obito 6 paths. Alright, for some people it's Dragon Ball, and for some of y'all it's Naruto. So let's talk Naruto. Obito has his own 6 paths with the Jinchuriki, and they're like, I don't know if they're really Edo Tensei or not. Thinking about it, it seems like they are, but like they had a Rinnegan. And you always question that they could just bring themselves back with the Rinnegan, because they don't bother to do it. But you know, like the Rinnegan could bring Madara back, so I mean, it's kind of gotta work, right? Kind of has to. You could just bring yourself back and share it. Well, the Sage of Six Paths could do it, right? Where he like died, but he's like, he gonna show up anyway. He's got the Rinnegan. Well, one for all. Yeah, Madara sharing it with a bunch of people because it's really his. Alright, so the way that it works is like the Rinnegan. Once you unlock it or get it, maybe, or you become part of Madara's. Anybody that you see with the Rinnegan in the series, other than Sasuke, up until a certain point, like a very specific point at that, mind you, they all have Madara's Rinnegan. Him and the Sage of Six Paths. Those are the only two. Like Obito is part of Madara's Six Paths, cause it's his Rinnegan first. Where they all see eye to eye on something, cause it's just them in their circle. Yeah, like, you know, the Sharingan is nowhere near strong. The Rinnegan's like, I don't know, stronger than all of that shit anyway. Is stronger. The Six Paths. So like, you know, that's Six Paths, but a Madara's. He's like one of Madara's pain bodies, basically. Nagato too.
What's going on, my ninja?
Nagato is like a pain body for Madara though, because of the eyes. Yeah, so like, you know, what Madara didn't do was give Nagato only one eye. He gave him both of them for some fucking reason instead of Obito. Six Paths of Obito. Obito Masked Man. Obito Masked Man. Six Paths. Fuck you, cuz. Six Paths. Tailed Beast. Tailed Beasts. Six Paths. Naruto versus Tailed Beasts. Naruto versus Jinchuriki. See, exactly. Naruto versus Four Tails. Fuck you, cuz. Naruto and B versus where you're like, you know, Sasuke is so advanced and shit, right? But like Naruto and B specifically, they have fought like fucking 6 Sasukes at the same time, nigga. Could they use Susanoo? Probably, nigga. Fuck. Realistically, let's be real, cuz. And then Guy and Kakashi showed up too. isn't Obito like basically just like when he had Sharingan and a Rinnegan, he was like basically Sasuke, right? Come on. Yeah, where Sasuke's Rinnegan is just like, I don't think it's fully developed. I think that's the idea. It's more Sharingan than Rinnegan. It's like clearly not a